Good morning. I mean, it's 5:30 in the afternoon, but or the evening, I suppose I should say. How you doing, Sid? I'm gonna drop some ads, but I mean, you're sub, so this won't impact you, but we'll just get them out of the way real quick. How's your weekend going? It's the weekend, right? Yeah, it's the weekend. It's Friday. It's 2:30. Okay. Okay. So you're 3 hours behind, cause it's so you must be West Coast, cause it's 5:30 here. Boom, 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 boom. Going back to work after vacation is hell. How was your little Canada trip? It was a Canada trip, right? How's your little Canada trip going? Good. You saw the Northern Lights, dude. Where the hell did you go? What the fuck? The Northern Lights. I think I've seen the Northern Lights once in my life, and I was like, just I happened to be outside when they were just like showing up in the middle of the afternoon. Crazy. I think so. I can't remember. I was a kid. Maybe the afternoon doesn't make sense. Uh, I remember it being like a really weird time of day, and I was clearly awake. Afternoon, that's crazy. Yeah, well, they don't come by my area very often. They're like a once in a decade type thing. I was very, very young. Did you have fun though? I feel like whenever I travel, I always feel like exhausted by the end of it. So I'm not a big fan of travel, to be quite honest, for that reason. Also, I finished my guy, kind of. He still needs shoes, but I was about to ask where you live. Probably not a good idea. Eastern Canada, that's all I'll say. Yo, yo, what up, Baz? How you doing, big dog? I am really fucking tired right now, guys. I just did not sleep well. I've been trying to reset my sleep schedule again because I've been a bad boy lately, and consequently now I feel fucked. Believe it or not, I'm not very enthusiastic about traveling. I hate the planning. See, I'm the guy who plans it. Like if I do a thing with my boys, I can't rely on any of them to plan it because it's just gonna take fucking forever. So I just do it myself and just get it done. You know, I'm always the planner. All right, let's drop a little Discord notif. I really like the short puffy jacket. I was going for like Russian gangster-esque look, so we gave him sort of like the retro colors and all that shit. That was sort of the idea. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with these colors. They were kind of just like a baseline flats or whatever, but we could always shift it around. Vintage bomber jacket vibe? No, no, no. I mean, that was the idea. It was a vintage bomber jacket, but he's just sort of like a little thug, you know? I was gonna do a little kid next to him, but I struggled so much with this guy in the first place. Took me so long, dude. I went through so many iterations of this guy before I even got happy with one. Quick tip: cat snack is a lovely bean. Shit, no you, no you, cat kook. Damn. But yeah, we went through a bunch of iterations on this guy. I did this outfit, and then I was like, oh my god, that's just like fucking Greed from Full Metal Alchemist. I subconsciously plagiarized Greed from Full Metal Alchemist without even looking, dude. So I was like, I had to redo the whole outfit. I was like, I can't. That's unacceptable. It's kind of crazy how your fucking like your like visual library works. Because I did not look at any Greed reference at all. I looked at some FMA reference, but I did not look at any Greed reference at all. And it just came out like almost identical, and I was like, this is too much. The only difference is Grid has short sleeves. That's all. Otherwise, it's like the fucking same guy. So I like switched it up completely. Greed is carved in your brain. It probably is, dude. I watched a lot of FMA when I was younger. The little mouse man back at it again, talking that shit out here. How you doing? What up, Nuclear Grabber? Shisha Shireen, how you doing? Glub Hub, what up, big dog? Ooh, that was shit. I give that out for free. Playing Valorant. Oh shit. I've never played Valorant. I hear good things. Actually, I think I played once. Actually, no, I've actually never played. The Asian version of Greed was carved in my brain for a long time. Isn't Greed Asian? I assume like most anime characters are just like Asian. Granted, Fullmetal Alchemist seems to have like a sort of like European World War II vibe. Hey yo, what does the ASMR Me Daddy Redeem do? It's unfortunately it was by chatter request. Okay, this one kind of tortures me. I hate doing it, which is why it's so expensive. But but it's basically me just whispering sweet nothings into the microphone point blank for 2 minutes straight. It really sucks. Don't do it. This art looks cool so far. What up, Sphincter Sucker? Not that. What the fuck is wrong with your name, dude? Wild name. Thanks, dog. I appreciate it, Sphincter Sucker. I appreciate it. We're this is like a precursor to what's gonna be an animation. I've got a little rough of the animation here somewhere. There's part of it. Here's the rough of the animation. Whoa. Okay, well, it's lagging like crazy, so I'm just gonna let that run for a minute while it gets the fucking kinks out. I don't know if they're ready for that out here. I don't know. You guys eat ass? Chat, you eat ass? All right, let's see. This is sort of what we got so far. Just a little run, a little spin, a little jump, and then from there we'll fucking drop in a character eventually. Realistically, I should have roughed the character first. But I didn't actually intend to turn this into anything. I just kind of wanted to do a little sketchy sketch, and then I was like, you know what? This should be a full-on character. And now we're doing the character. So I gotta get his turn right, and then we can embed him. I just gotta figure out his design. I think this is gonna be it for his design. I think his design's more or less like finalized. Let me get rid of this timeline. Now it's just about doing the 3/4 and the profile, and then we'll do some face charts, and then that's it. Bob's your uncle. I say that, but it took me so fucking long to get this one guy done. Hey, Snack, how's it going, big dog? What up? What up? Can't even choose a name. What up, Cat Snack 2? How you doing, big dog? What up, Emmy? He's back. I've been back. Plus, Emmy, I always see you in like literally every streamer's chat. I see you everywhere, dude. I see you literally everywhere. Is this project you scratching your animator itch? Kind of. I think I'm gonna actually do a lot more animation stuff on stream. Starting with this, I think I'm gonna mostly, basically, I'm trying to pivot my style away from the old like illustrative stuff I used to do, and more like animation stuff. You know, I just found like it's not that I dislike the illustration stuff at all. Actually, I quite like it. It's just very time consuming. Like doing stuff like this just takes fucking forever, and then I like, and it doesn't always come out right, and then I don't know. So I'm just doing. We're just keeping it classic anime for now, anyways. I only watch like 6 art streams nowadays. I think I saw you in Zoe Bebop's stream. I think that's where I saw you. I was just lurking around. animation isn't time consuming. It is, but it's more. I don't know. There's like a satisfaction there. Like I feel like the issue with doing like more illustrative stuff isn't that it's time consuming. It's that it's time consuming, but most of the time is spent chasing. You're doing like the chase, you know, less so the fucking I don't know. Like you're always searching. You're constantly searching for the animation or the illustration. Whereas like animation, you could get a result that feels nice pretty quickly. I got you. Either way, I'm eager to see what you come up with. Me too, dude. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Okay, I gotta actually get some lines to define sort of the. I'm kind of guessing his placements on shit right now, and I'm afraid I'm gonna be guessing wrong. So let me. What is this? I had like a measurement layer of some sort. This, yeah, this. Whoa. Call that measurements. Slither that on over here. I'm just gonna stretch it out. Oops, I'm just gonna stretch it out horizontally. We don't really need to. Okay. These measurements are so fucked. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna do a new one. Oh, these Bebop? Oh yeah, these Bebop. Is there a way to do just perfectly straight horizontal lines so I don't have to eyeball it? Line. Am I tripping, dude? Which one is the shape tool? I feel I've been using this fucking software so goddamn long. How do I not know this shit? This? No. That? No. That? No. That? No. Was it that? No. It's one of these. I'll get it one day. It's gotta be one of these fucking things, doesn't it? Polyline? Polyline. Damn. Line's getting down like that, huh? Alright, what do we got? Dude, I don't fucking know. There's no shape line? Am I tripping? I swear to God there was a. Oh, here it is. Rectangle, curve, straight line. Straight line me, daddy. Let's fucking get it. Whoa, that is very much a straight line. That's way too big. It's way too small. Could be a little bigger. So how you guys doing? How's your Friday going, guys? You guys having a good little Friday? Because it's gonna be the bottom of the lid. Oops. Bottom of the lid. Top of the brows. Bottom of the brows. Roughly where the hairline's gonna be. Base of the nose. Whoa. Mouth. Chin. Oh, so much easier to do it this way. Okay. Okay. Now that's in position. Now we just gotta adjust some stuff. I think everyone faces this, but right now I'm in another. Oh my god, there's so many freaking things to learn in art. Frick, how will I ever learn it all? You've got a lifetime, dude. That's kind of just the way I see it. The reality is, I'm never gonna know everything. You know, I just don't know that that's like fully realistic. But you sure know a hell of a lot of shit. You know, and I think that's what you gotta strive for. Hey, what's a man got to do to get this guy's eyebrows? Just sprinkle a little minoxidil on your forehead, dude, every day, and hopefully you don't turn into a werewolf. Oh, am I really drawing in red right now? All right. The road seems endless. What's up, Mouse? What up, Jadu? How you doing? Yeah, it is. It is kind of endless, dude. The reality is you're never, ever, ever gonna know everything, and there's always gonna be something else to learn. Even like people that are considered like grandmasters, they're still learning shit, you know. So I just wouldn't worry about it, you know. I just don't think you gotta worry about it too much. I think you just gotta focus on the things that you want to improve and then recognize that you're not going to be an expert at everything. There's going to be domains that you're better at than others and some that you're weaker at than others, and that's totally fine. And then your goal is just to sort of identify the weaknesses that fall within the stuff that you want to do. Like in my case, I never want to get really good at fucking stippling or anything, you know? That's like an art technique where you do like a bunch of little dots to form shapes or whatever. It's just not a style that interests me. It's within the realm of knowledgeable thing or things that you can learn in art, but I've never had any interest in being a stippler. So like I'm probably gonna ignore that probably for my entire life. Maybe I'll do a couple stipple drawings here and there, but you know what I mean? So I feel like you just kind of learn the shit that falls within the domain of stuff that you want to actually do. And beyond that, just fuck it, you know? So yeah, there's an endless amount of shit to learn, but it doesn't mean you gotta learn it all. That being said, things like anatomy and stuff, they're going to apply to most broad categories, you know? More stylized, technique-specific stuff, then that's going to be a little bit more niche or whatever, but I'm not liking this profile very much. Oh, just fuck it. Fuck it, I guess. Fuck it. People find something brand new every day for art. That's what I'm saying, dude. I feel like you could learn art forever. What up, Yeti? Also, guys, I'm dead tired, so if I start talking nonsense, forgive me, alright? I literally know not what I do. No dick roll for you today, Jadu. You gotta try again, big dog. Pull that hog out one more time. Give it another try. I could die and still learn art in the heavens. I don't have the answers to that one. My answers are limited to the corporeal realm, unfortunately. I'm wondering, do I give him the? I feel like he has a little bit of a Disney nose right now. I kind of want to give him a more interesting nose. The profile is kind of where you get to decide this shit. I don't know if I want to give him the like Minecraft villager nose, but I'll give him something. Just something with a little bit more interest to it. I have to work on my technique, apparently. Do you? Dave the Undead. Matisse was still trying to figure out art on his deathbed. Put a piece of charcoal on a long stick and drew on the walls. Hey, that's fucking, that's how What's-His-Face does it. Bridgman. That's literally all of Bridgman's books. The biggest complaint people have about Bridgman's books, other than they don't get it, is his art looks like shit. And it's because he's drawing on a fucking, he's drawing on a ceiling with charcoal tied to a stick. So, it's not really the point. But anyways, it just made me think of that. Speak French for 1 minute. Ok. Il est 5h48 en ce moment. On va se parler en français jusqu'à 5h49 et 25 secondes. Il n'y a pas grand chose à dire. Aujourd'hui, je suis vraiment fatigué. J'ai pas bien dormi hier soir. J'essaie d'ajuster mon horaire comme de sommeil. Puis j'ai poussé mon sommeil un peu plus tôt, mais j'ai pas pu m'endormir. Alors, puisque j'ai pas pu m'endormir. Mais tu sais quoi, j'ai pu m'endormir. Fuck, je suis tellement fatigué, man. J'ai pu m'endormir, mais j'étais pas capable de me réveiller en temps. Donc, oh, fuck. Est-ce que je suis con, man? C'est pas ça que j'essaie de dire. J'ai mis un alarme pour me réveiller plus tôt, mais fuck it, whatever, dude. I think it's English time. I'm having such a little brain fart there. Oh non, il me reste 20 secondes, excuse. J'ai vu ça, on vient juste de faire un redeem, un ASMR redeem. Amy, elle veut qu'on fasse un tout petit ASMR redeem. Je m'excuse tout le monde, mais c'est quelque chose qu'on doit faire. Parce que c'est juste, ça fait partie du programme. Donc, so we're gonna just transition from that directly into this. Yeah, so I'm just gonna. I don't really know what to talk about. Really, I think I'm gonna try and draw this guy's face. It's very difficult with a microphone covering my tablet because my microphone is so fucking big and hard and shiny and silver and blocking the guy I'm trying to draw right now. I don't know. Is there anything in particular that I should speak about when we're point blank on the microphone like this? This is so intimate. It's just like me, you, and just 15 people that I've never seen in person, just hanging out, having a little intimate moment. Is that cute, dude? We're like we're like bonding. We're like soul melding right now. It's crazy. Nobody should ever be this sleep deprived. Fuck, I also didn't check the time that I started this ASMR. I don't want it to go longer than 2 minutes. Please make a whole stream just like this. I don't think I could do that, Big G, because I think I would see my viewership tank instantly. And I don't want people cranking hog any harder than they already are, you know? So, all that to say, how much time do we have left on this shit? Guys, anybody keeping track of how long I've been seductively talking right next to my microphone like this? To me, it feels like it's been probably close to 2 minutes, but my perception of time is a little altered because I just haven't slept very much. So, you still have 2 minutes. Shut the fuck. I do not still have 2 minutes. I don't still have 2 minutes, Sydney Cow. It's only 2 minutes. I can't be in a state of still having 2 minutes when the total time is 2 minutes. I think it's been about. I think it's been about 2 minutes, guys. When I checked the time, we'd been streaming for 20 minutes. It's been 23 minutes. I think you guys got more than you paid for. I think I gave you guys a little to-go box. Nice, still has an hour. Damn. The Gooners, bro. I will never get the appeal of ASMR. It started off like as an ironic thing, but the issue is I don't really know how to make like ASMR content at all. So I just sound like a crazy person talking point blank. I will say though, I'm gonna go get a little carrot. ASMR made me think of how much I want a carrot, so I'll be back. Mm-mm-mm. Do a jiggle. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jiggle. Check that shit out. HDMZ, hello. How you doing, big dog? Thank you for the ASMR. No worries, Emmy. Would the person who redeemed ASMR also requesting a topic be easier for you? Yeah, it would be. It's one thing to like answer you guys if you're chatting. It's another thing to just come up with the topic all on my own. It's like a level of brain power that's really difficult. Like, just pretend you're standing in front of an audience of people, okay? And they're all looking at you for entertainment. And you have like now just start ripping on random shit, you know? It's tough. You should include this in the redeem description? I know. I just keep forgetting to update it. If it's essential, it's not like essential. It definitely is easier though. But the thing is, sometimes people also pick fucked up descriptions. So I don't know if I want to give people that power either. It's like a weird balance. Because otherwise, what if they redeem ASMR, they paid 15k points, and now they're like, Talk about licking feet for like fucking 2 minutes. Oh my god. All right, here we go. You can still reject the topic. Yeah, it feels mean though when people are paying such top dollar for it, you know? He knows what we would do, so he doesn't give us the power. That's exactly it, dude. I don't trust chat. Never trust chat. Chat's in it for themselves, dude. No mercy. I get it. I respect the hustle. Do any of you guys actually listen to like ASMR? Like unironically? Hello? Nope. Nope. I don't personally understand ASMR. Me neither. Even though I do it. What up, Dave? If you have the genetic trait, I can see it. What's the genetic trait? I feel like you either you have to be hot and half naked, okay, talking into a rubber ear, or you have to have a nice voice. Those are the only two options, really. Maybe not actually. I think there are some people with questionable voices that do ASMR successfully. So the fuck do I know? You know. ASMR content is an attempt to trigger it. What's good? What's good, Ori? ASMR is a weird nerve response that certain sounds and senses trigger give people. Yeah, but the thing is, people respond to them completely differently. Some people hate them, some people love them. I think it's better if I move the shoulder back. There are weird ASMRs out there, though. Yeah, that's true. Maybe a weird question, but as a tablet drawer, what screen do you use and/or recommend for others with a similar drawing approach? Screen. I don't know. I feel like I've said this. My knowledge on tablets is very limited because I've only had like two in my life. I had one without a screen and one with a screen. And the one I have with the screen is a Wacom 16. And I've never used anything outside of that. So your guess is as good as mine, unfortunately. And I mean the screen itself. I don't know what you mean, dude. The screen is on the tablet. If you have a screen, you have a tablet. Doesn't like what you're buying. I don't know what you mean. Desktop monitor. Oh, I don't know. I don't really look at my monitor when I'm drawing. And my head is like straight down. Um, my monitor. What the hell is my monitor? It's like I've had it since like 2018 ish. Um, I think my monitor is like a weird ViewSonic. It's some 1440p monitor. I don't really know much beyond that. I got it back in my gamer days, you know, back when I was playing Overwatch a little too much. If you aren't in that 25%, it's just weird shit. You don't get the netgasm. I only know but only like 25% of the population has ASMR. Huh. Yeah, it just kind of makes me feel uncomfortable. Like I get the appeal, I don't feel it. You know what I mean? That's sort of my view on ASMR, but oh, so you use a screen tablet to draw on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I got basically two screens in front of me. One has Twitch up, like my standard. Like if this is a desk, okay, I've got my drawing tablet, which is like flat or slightly tilted on like an angle here. It's on like a mild angle with like two legs or whatever. And then I've got my genu like my proper like PC monitor like here. And my keyboard's like off to the side on an angle here. My microphone is like here in the corner. And I'm sitting here just fucking shrimping, bro. This is me drawing. That's me, dude. This is my whole setup. Toadstool talks. How you doing, big dog? Get in here, big dog. Get in here, Toadstool. Pull up a chair. Pull up a stool, if you will. Oh, my bad. I had that detail mixed up. Either way, thanks for clarifying. Yeah, so my tablet is the Wacom 16. My monitor is some fucking ViewSonic shit. I don't know what it is. Anyways, that's it for that. Took a fat nap. Gonna do some blendering now. I do like drawing some ASMR videos with scratchy, rough sounding pen on paper or gritty tablet. That just sounds like cozy audio, you know? I feel like ASMR to me, I guess it could just be like objects or whatever, but I don't know. I'm a guy. Snack, I have to come clean. After I heard your ASMRing about your love to carrots, I sprinted to the subscribe button. Is that how I do it, guys? Is that the I got your ass, dude? Talking about I don't, what was I even talking about? This must have been like months ago. I gotta say, dude, deep voices talking point blank on Twitch with the PNG tuber. That's kryptonite for some ladies, dude. I get it. I get it. For context, I upgraded from a shitty old laptop. Oh fuck. From a shitty old laptop to a massively better PC, but I'm currently working on a monitor, which is definitely not ideal for art stuff. Resolution plus colors are completely fucked. I kind of feel like that about my tablet too. The colors don't really line up to like how they look on social media. They're a lot more vibrant on social media. I don't know. How'd you build momentum when you started streaming? I didn't. I'll show you my analytics. I really, it's not. I'm not hiding it or anything. I streamed to very low numbers for like a full year, you know. And then the one thing that built up my viewership, and my viewership by no means is like it's not massive at all, but like um here this is literally my entire fucking Twitch viewership, all right? In a nutshell. This is everything from start to finish. This is sort of my average viewer trajectory. So I think over here we're sitting at around I think from like here to well, these are the viewers, right? So this is the average viewers. So if this is 0, this is 20. Okay? I'm sitting at around 3-ish here when I started. Okay? And I stayed at that for a pretty long time. 3-ish, 6-ish, 7-ish, 8-ish. And then I think I peaked out around like 10, 11-ish here. Right? That was sort of my average. And then I went on hiatus. My dog died and I took a little bit of a break for like a month. Okay, and then after that, I came back, and that's when we monetized. We turned on ads because I think I hit affiliate like way back here. Like I was affiliate basically once I got 50 subs, I got affiliate. Because for me, it wasn't really the viewership; it was the sub number. I don't know why. Damn, my condolences. Oh, it's all good, dude. She was like 14. She had a good life. She lived a very, very long life for a dog. So, you know, all things considered, I was very, very satisfied with her life. Obviously, you always want more time, but, you know, it is what it is. And then, so basically, when I came back, I was like, okay, we're going to do a mini rebrand. And then right here, I got Boba to finish the PNG tuber. Actually, he finished it long before that, but I eventually launched the PNG tuber here. And then my viewership just kind of took off a little bit based off that PNG tuber. And now I think it's sort of like flatlining. It's hard to tell because it's still so new. Like it could just go on and on and on at sort of around this level. I suspect what it'll do is it'll probably level off and then it'll probably hover around like 20-ish average viewership. I don't know if it's going to keep growing or anything. But that's sort of been the trajectory of my streaming career. And this was in May of 2024. And then now we're in September of 2025. Or wait, what the fuck? We're not October, dude. God damn. Hope your dog is fine. No, I don't think you heard me, dude. My dog died. It's not fine. I mean, I'm sure she's fine now. Where she's running in the big doggy field in heaven or whatever. But this was at the time, so I took a little break because I was a little bummed out by that, but I do not have another dog. It was my family dog, so it was my mom's dog. I don't live with my dog, or with my mom. I live alone, and I live in an apartment. And if you've ever lived in an apartment, you'll know that managing a dog with a full-time job in an apartment is just you just can't do justice to the dog, right? Like if I had a yard Like at least I can let it out, let it run around. But I just don't have the time to go on like 2 3 hour walks every day. So I'm just not getting a dog yet. Maybe when I'm retired or when I'm like older. Older. I'm the fucking man at this point. But Twitch stats are a bit of a mystery to track. But like you have good stuff. I think times to stream are important. Schedule to me, I think, is really important because what happens is a lot of people sort of show up at the same time, and it makes sure that your sort of repeat viewers, their life more or less lines up with you on average. Because if they're discovering you at that time, they're usually free at that time, so they're more likely to be free on a consistent basis at those times, right? So I think having a schedule is probably a good thing for streaming. Granted, I see tons of people who are very successful with that one, so take that as with a grain of salt. That's just sort of my corpo brain trying to justify it in my head. Um, the PNG tuber was really the big thing that got a lot more viewership, right? Because if you go to the main search page for Twitch, you'll see the little mouse icon next to the thumbnail. Because the way Twitch works is it just takes like a snapshot of whatever the fuck you're doing every like 10 minutes or something, and it uses that as the thumbnail. And if my mouse is always on, then you'll always see that and you'll be like, okay, I've been seeing this guy a lot. You know what I mean? Like, if you're browsing social media and you keep seeing the same fucking guy over and over at the same time, you're like, all right, whatever, maybe I'll check it out. So I think that sort of also helps. So having a PNG tuber was the big jump. Like, I think that's what doubled or tripled me, basically. How much was the PNG tuber? I mean, I have no issues talking about like the pricing. The thing is, I don't know if how Boba feels about it because he made it for me. Um, if Boba's cool with me sharing how much I paid, then I have no issues. But I don't know if he has some sort of fucking. He doesn't have an NDA or anything, but you know what? Fuck it. I know Boba. If he gets mad at me, I'll survive. It was around $400 is what I paid for it, something like that. And to be honest, Boba was like volunteering his time to do it basically for free, and I was like, "No, I'm paying your ass, dude." So I kind of just made up that number and paid it. The way I thought about it was I was like I just thought about like what's like an average like amount of work that would go into this. And then, well, actually, you know what? If it was like a weekly pay for like an industry professional, it would have probably been more than 400. I think I got a bargain, to be quite honest. Do you think if I made a PNG tuber that was just a big titty, I'd be popular? Like a single big titty? I think that's an interesting shtick. I think you know what? I think really my opinion on it, and this is based off of nothing but my instincts. Okay, I have no data to back this up. But what I would say is probably don't do something generic would be my advice. And that's sort of why I went this route, even though everybody thinks I'm a furry now. I really just wanted to do something that wasn't like a standard VTuber that you would see here. Like the obvious one is just hot anime guy. You know what I mean? That's like the fucking the beautiful prissy like anime dude or whatever. That's like the generic one, right? I think you want to if you want to stick out, maybe don't do that. But the thing is, that's also what's really popular, so I don't really know what the fuck the answer is. My instinct says don't do that, but, you know, what I see on Twitch that is very popular is that, so maybe I'm completely wrong. I feel like a lot of people who have sort of niche PNG tubers are, they have strong followings, but they're not necessarily, like, huge, right? Like, they're not like an Iron Mouse or anything. I think another thing that is going to be difficult is the content you stream, right? Because I do art, the art category itself is just a tiny category. It's just a tiny category on Twitch. Like I think if you look at the average viewership of the art category, it's small. It's so small that it's basically niche because it's smaller than most like obscure video games that you've never heard of, or at least I've never heard of, right? Like, so nobody really uses Twitch to consume art, even though it might feel like they do because you guys probably consume a lot of art on Twitch. The reality is, as a platform, Twitch is not built for artists for the most part. And so, you know, being the like being somebody who pulls like 20 viewers or something like that, it puts you in the sort of upper half of the art category. But compare that to like a fucking like variety streamer who does like video games and shit, and it's just like another level. Like they're just like on another level. Have you considered multi-streaming? I did multi-stream for a year straight. I multi-streamed to Kick and YouTube, and I got no traction on either, and so I just kind of stopped. Kick, I had people that are really cool that became like full-time Twitch chatters and were really awesome people. Um, the one thing I'll say about Kick is you also get a lot of shitters that come in just to like talk shit or whatever, which is whatever. That doesn't really bother me too much. But it is like just something to know, I guess, if you're gonna multi-stream to Kick. Um, Honestly, with my lack of furry knowledge, I don't see a furry vibe from your mouse. That's good. I don't think I think honestly, being a furry is like it's more than just an appearance. Like being an anthropomorphic mouse does not make you a furry. Okay, and that's not just me coping. Okay, I really do think the furry is like a way of life. I think it's an identity. I don't think you can't just be a furry by having like it. Maybe if I had like a fursona and I was like repping that shit, then maybe I'd be a little bit more furry esque. But I think there's more to being a furry than just being an animal. Boba sounds like a true homeboy. He is. He's a true homie. The single Yeti sounds grotesque in a way. I do like the idea of like like biblically accurate angels. They're like floating eyes with like the rings around them or whatever. I like that idea, but like with a titty. I think if I were to do it again, you do the biblically accurate titty. That's your niche, Jadu. You can have that, all right. I'm not trademarking it or anything. I mean, Hassan does politics streaming and he's pulling numbers, so never say never, I guess. I really do think politics is probably one of the larger like mediums because it's a lot easier to sort of draw people in when it's like it feels like team sports, right? Whereas like because I'm relatively non-political, if I started talking about political shit and doing like fucking live debates and becoming like a debate bro and stuff, I bet you I could probably grow off of that. I just don't want to be in that like community. It just seems so fucking annoying. Like people are always trying to ruin each other's lives, dude. I don't know. I don't want to get doxxed and fucking the art community's chill as fuck. I don't know. There's like obviously there's like issues with the art community as well, but they're so minor. They're so minor compared to like being a political streamer, dude. I don't want to be in that world. As much as I like doing that, like with my boys and having debates and owning people with facts and logic, okay? Destroying college kids. Okay, as much as that sounds awesome and fun, it just seems like, I don't want to get fucking shot. you know? Hey, Booba Snack, how's it going? Oh, it's going. The politics community becomes so toxic so fast. Please don't. I did think about it. I will say that was the alternate route that I was thinking of going. But the reality is I just want to do art. Like the whole point of being on Twitch is to improve my art. So to me it's just like a no-brainer that I'm just going to be doing art, but I think right now I am at the point where the only sort of way I see myself growing more than what I have now, I don't think there's going to be much big organic growth at the rate I'm going. I think the next step for me is probably to do something like YouTube or whatever. I just don't have the fucking time or energy to do it. But that is probably the future. And I would probably do like some sort of like YouTube content or some shit like that. Collab time. Look, Ori, if you want to, I'll collab. I don't care. Hit me up. You know where to find me. You got my Discord. I've done. The thing is, I will say I've not to knock people on collabs. I've reached out to quite a few people, sort of at my size or bigger, to sort of do like the social climb, so to speak. And a lot of people are just not very good at like committing to things. I've reached out to a couple of streamers. Some people have just been like straight up, no, I don't do collabs, which is totally fine. I'd rather get that response. I feel like the responses that kind of annoy me are like when people are like, sorry, that just doesn't work time wise for me, and it's like, and then they just don't give me like a time that does work, you know? Where it's like, I don't know. I feel like the art community has its pros, but it also has its cons. Where people aren't very like, it doesn't feel like artists are very business brained, and I think like that just sort of goes to sort of it just sort of matches the artist testament. They're not like fucking corporate like corpo bros, you know what I mean? Where they're all about that grussel, you know what I mean? So I get it. It is sometimes a little annoying, I think, because especially if you do want to take it a little bit more professionally. But that's sort of my only gripe. Politics streaming is basically just professional rage baiting. Yeah, pretty much. I do feel like I'd be good at rage baiting though. I do love to talk shit about politics. I won't lie, but I just don't want the smoke that comes with it, you know? I feel like people, the thing is, for a lot of people, politics is like their identity. And I think, like, if you attack, like, a political topic, like, for whatever position you have on any sensitive or controversial topic, a lot of people really tie that into their identity. So when you get into that, when people retaliate against you for your opinions or stuff like that, it can get really extreme where you get like doxing involved, you get like a whole bunch of like it's just like vitriolic and it's a type of energy I just don't want. Whereas with art, if somebody disagrees with an art take I have, odds are they're not going to try and ruin my fucking life over it. I mean, maybe it's the internet after all, but it's just like I don't know, it's a different type of energy that and I just don't want that energy in my life. It's to at this point in my life, maybe if I was like 20. Oh man, me streaming at 20 would have been bad. I was so fucking unfiltered. It's probably good that I started doing it as an adult, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna be a politics streamer. I know my lane. My lane is the art tutorial shit. I just think a lot of there's not a lot of growth for it on Twitch. Maybe I'll start picking up on YouTube again. Yo, someone say politics? No, no, down, boy, down. Second stream ignoring me, bad mouse. Would you say, Peachioni? Did I miss something? Am I being bad? Am I being a little bad boy? What'd you say? You said, hey guys. Hey, I didn't mean to miss that. A lot of people talking. I try my best. Just know it's not personal. I'm not intentionally ignoring anybody. There's a good chance I'm just stupid or illiterate or a combination of the two. Did someone say art tutorial? Someone did. So what was the topic? There was no topic. We were just talking about growth on Twitch and how sort of it feels like if you do politics streaming, you tend to build bigger audiences, but you also tend to bring in a lot more toxicity to your communities. And I was talking about how it is interesting to me, but it's just not something that I really want for my community, you know? Moderating that shit is just seems like a fucking nightmare. I don't know. It's almost like people are multifaceted, and just because you disagree with the view someone has doesn't mean that it's a personal attack. The issue is that it is very difficult to not tie your identity to political topics, right? Like a lot of people, like a lot of political topics come down to people's rights, their sort of their value as human beings and as individuals, and I think it's very fair to tie that stuff into your identity and to feel very strongly and to ingrain that into your morals and your belief systems and your values and all that stuff, right? And then there's cultural aspects too, and just like so it is, and it's also to me it just seems kind of fruitless. I feel like this is how I see it, right? If I were trying to fucking indoctrinate someone into thinking and having the same political takes as me, odds are it's going to be a lot more difficult for me to do that and to bear fruit from that attempt than it is to teach somebody about the art that I know and sort of teach somebody and bring them in to the sort of the things that I want people to learn and take away from my art, right? And I feel like I get a lot more satisfaction out of that. It's a lot more frictionless, and there's just a lot more. I don't know. I feel like I give back to people more doing that than I would convincing people to vote the same way I do or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just to me it's just not a pursuit that I really want. You're Canadian anyways. Yeah, and what are you gonna say, huh? Say it, bitch. I'm listening. Politics is fun. Toxicity is fun too. So literally no downsides. I mean, it's fun if you're able to stay relatively neutral. The issue is that the fun comes from enraging people, you know? And sometimes you have to risk being enraged yourself. As much as I think I'm like a some fucking stoic some stoic fucking statue of a man, okay? Both physically and mentally, okay? Looking like an Adonis. All right? What were we talking about? No, I'm just kidding. Even if I might think that I'm able to keep my shit together, the reality is I'm probably not. Okay, so I don't know, and I don't know that I really want to sort of have those types of discussions on live streams. I think another thing too is the the embarrassment that I would get from being wrong about having a political take. Like, imagine that if I have a political take today, and then in 5 years you find out how fucking stupid I was. Okay, now the approach to that is for me to just own it and to like change my political stances. But having like strong, like emotionally charged discussions around things that I'm like wrong about just doesn't. I don't know. With so much at stake, I don't know. I'm just not into it. I'm not into it these days. Anyways, all that to say, we're in our stream. You designing that character for animating the sketch from the previous stream? Oni, that's my previous nickname. Oh, I know it was you, Oni. Don't worry. Peachy Oni. I know. Don't worry. Show me the animation. Bitch, it's not even done. All right, let me fucking do a little demo for you guys. Let me show you guys what Daddy's been cooking up. Take a gander at this. Little man running, little man jumping, little man falling. That's it. It ain't complicated. Anyways, I'm gonna let that loop while I go get some water because I'm freaking thirsty, dude. I'm a little parched boy. My mouse tongue's all dry. Give me a second. I kind of got a cramp from fucking eating too many carrots, dude. It's flipped. I mean, it can flip. If this is the normal perspective, I can flip it though. Looks adequate. Uh huh. Yeah, whatever, dude. Ugh. Snack should have a hydration redeem. Sid, do you not know how many times I fucking piss on stream? If chat was telling me to drink water on command, the like 50% of the stream would just be piss and ads. Okay, we can't do that. We can't do that. That's why I don't have it. It's intentional. Carrots? Question mark? Yeah. I think I have like a mild carrot allergy, and so when I eat too many carrots, I get a tummy ache. The issue is I eat too many carrots. Wait, how does SR work? KitKat, you've been here for like a year. How do you not know this? So the way it works is you click the song request or you click the request song redeem. You drop a Spotify link in there. Emphasis on Spotify link, not YouTube link, not SoundCloud, not a song name. You drop a Spotify link, and then it'll just queue up. It'll be the next thing on the playlist. No, I mean you hit enter obviously, but then it'll queue up. I forgot. It's all good, big guy. Don't worry about it. Ow! You should have some dancing emotes and redeems. I'm working on it. That shit costs money, you know. Eddie 4C, how you doing, big dog? What up? Welcome in. Welcome in. I have a day off today. No painting today. I'm creating clay figures for Halloween. Ooh, shit. What are you making? I think the chin could come out more. I'll ignore the info about the Spotify link and try with just the name of the song. Look, you could do the name of the song. The issue is that sometimes it fucks up, and then you'll end up just like queuing up Drake or some shit like that. Saw the little showcase of the animation, was intrigued. Eddie, why don't you have a first-time chatterbox around you? Have you been here before, dude? So trippy. It's so weird seeing a chatter talk for the first time without having a little box around them that says first-time chatter. You've been here before. I'm blushing, dude. Rated, I think. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Noted. Well, welcome in, dude. Yeah, we got a little animation going on here. And then the idea is I'm designing a character right now, and then we're going to embed him into this animation somehow. Or we'll just do a new thing completely. I don't know. I just kind of want to do a character sheet. So we're doing this little Russian gangster looking guy. Did I color him? I kind of, yeah, I colored him with like some vintage retro colors. He's gonna need a lot of cleanup, but you know, that's the idea. I once tested it. Type Sabrina Carpenter espresso, and it played a totally different song that mentions the song. Really? How risque do you think you can get away with on Art Twitch? I mean, as long as you're not showing like fucking spread puss and butthole, you're probably fine. If you keep the nipples with some sort of fabric in front of them, you're probably also fine. You may get flagged as mature though, I will say. I've definitely been flagged as a mature channel just off of like shit I've been drawing, so just know it could happen. Oh, this fucking song, dude. Which one of you motherfuckers did this to me? This goddamn song, every fucking stream. You guys are gonna have to build a compilation of me reacting to this fucking song, because every goddamn stream at this point. Scrolling up. Grabber, I see your ass. Just know I'm watching your ass. Your ass, my eyes. Alright? Your ass. Cheek one, cheek two. They each have like a fucking special place in each eyeball, dude. I mean, who wants kids on stream? What are you talking about? Oh, no, I mean like you will literally not just like age gated, okay? I mean like you will there's tiers to this shit. So like on one tier, you know, you can be an 18 plus stream like I am, right? That's sort of like a rules based thing. People could lie. There's nothing stopping them other than my mods and me. But I mean like what Twitch will do is they'll literally put like a spoiler tag on your video. So people can't see like your thumbnail. I'm sorry I couldn't help it after I knew about it and I fuck with the song too. It's okay. I'm mad at you. It's okay. It's okay, Grabber. You're okay. You would be surprised, unfortunately, yeah. Because my hair's feels like it should be lower, but it really is weird that the hair just sort of stops. By this lake, that's from Santa Fe. Okay, that might hurt discoverability. Yeah, no kidding, dude. Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. What the fuck do you do next? I feel like I should know this shit. It's so stupid. I'm just gonna do like a quick scribble of this guy's pants, and then I'll tighten things as we go. What we got? We got a little bit of that. We got a little bit of that. A little bit of that. Does he have the? He had a little bit of that. Okay. Checking my chat log, and the raid was from last December. Ah, that's probably why. Thoughts on multi-streaming? I mean, I told you I did it for like a year, dude, and I got nothing out of it. Like there was no extra real follower. Like the issue also is YouTube doesn't allow you to change your thumbnail efficiently. You could change it. It's just a fucking giant pain in the ass. So every time I want to go live on YouTube, I have to do so much more work than I do to go live on Twitch, which is partly why I don't stream on YouTube much anymore. Kick, I just got no viewership. Like, if you think the art category is small on Twitch, Kick just like if I went on Kick and I streamed, I'd have one viewer and I'd be the top guy in the art category. That's how small it is. You know what I mean? It's tiny. Like nobody streams art on Kick. I'll have to figure out that hair later. Bro, is it like a remix of this song or a cover? Ori, thank you for the sub, big dog. Thank you, thank you. Welcome. I was gonna say welcome in. You're already here, but you know, whatever. You get it. No rude physicians. Uh-huh. I prefer this one to the original, kind of. I'm just kind of used to the original, so I feel like to me it's weird, but probably because it's the first time I've heard it. Okay, I should actually do some measurements on this shit before I fucking. Where's my stupid line ass tool? There we go. Bitch ass line ass tool. There we go. Shoulder. Oh, it's pretty close. Kind of just guesstimating. I probably also shouldn't do the side with the arm up like that. Whatever. I don't care. Yeah, it's pretty close. Pretty close on that wrist. Elbow. Pretty damn close. I'm so good at guesstimating this shit. Dick and balls around here, roughly. My dick and balls are a little high on this guy. We could lower them. Welcome to the snack pack. Hey, chat, can we get a round of applause for our newest subscriber? Thank you, Ori. Thank you, everybody. Round of applause for subscribers. Everybody knows I love subscribers more. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Nah, I'm just kidding. I load in art share. I loaded an art share, but only that sketch. I'll take a look. I'll take a look in a sec. I'll take a look in a sec. I don't typically like routinely check it. Oh, it's your little sculpture. Oh, that's cool, dude. I fucked. Oh wow, that's sick. I actually fucked with that. Chat, if you're on the Discord, you should go check out like Oni's little sculpture. He's a little pumpkin guy chilling on a pumpkin. I feel sad. Why are you sad, Shane? Never subbed, never donated, watching from Iranian VPN for no ads from neighbors network base, dude. You're just like me. I respect it, dude. I don't care if you guys give me money or anything. I'm joking, by the way. Don't feel bad if that's what's getting you down in the dump. Those are all jokes. Back of the collar. Oh, the back of the collar goes way higher. This strap here is probably gonna be around here, roughly. Okay, we get some more lines in there. Let's go back to doing this. I think this should probably, man. So I was watching Modern Day James stream the other day, and he said one of the reasons why people bail on art is because they don't define the scope of their projects based on the stuff they've done before. Thoughts on this? Yeah, kind of, maybe. I mean, that's part of it. I think like I think I was there that stream, and I think there was one thing that he said that really resonated with me because I do the exact same thing. And there were so many moments where he was talking in that stream, and I was like, damn, are we like the same dude? He does like the same shit that I do. So one thing I do is I always bring on a piece of art that I've done already, usually into my new drawing if I want to emulate that style, right? Like this style sort of came from these heads that we were doing. I don't have it open right now, literally, but I think no, not this one. Where the hell is it? It was like illustration 13 or something. Was it this one? Yeah, like this style came from these guys, right? Actually, there's a more up to date version on this. I don't like that. That's the one I got there. This came from this style, right? Where we did these guys, and I was like, I could do some character turnarounds with this look. So that's sort of where this came from. And I feel like there is a lot of value in importing in stuff that you've already done that you really liked as a sort of like a little stylistic inspiration, you know? So I feel like I do that a lot, and I think he does that as well. Um, yeah, he tends to. I think he has a lot of similar philosophies to me. I will say though, I grew up watching Martin and James. Like one of the guys who taught me to draw on YouTube was Modern Day James. Because if you look at his content, like he's been posting like YouTube tutorials since I started drawing, dude. Let me look up Modern Day James. Modern Day James. Oh, what the fuck? I am live on YouTube right now. I guess the live button worked. Oops. Guys, I'm live on YouTube right now, believe it or not. Anyways, modern. What's his. This song is so fucked, dude. Yeah, his oldest video is from 8 years ago, which would have been in. Was that 2016? That's literally when I started drawing. So, like, modern day James was one of my literal YouTube teachers. He was one of the guys that taught me to draw. So a lot of the stuff he says, you know, I probably developed a lot of my opinions about art off of him. It's like so fucked. Where does this curve? Curve's a little higher up, so we can push this up a little bit. What, 2016's 8 years ago? I guess it's like 9 years ago, roughly, but yeah. But yeah, that's around the time I started drawing, guys. So, I mean, I've drawn on and off since I was like a kid, but I mean, the time that I was like, I'm going to become an artist was around there. Before that, I was maybe producing one drawing every like fucking 5 years or some shit, you know? I wasn't drawing anything any more seriously than anyone else, but Okay, this collar needs to be way higher. On this guy here, the collar comes up to basically this line. And then this could actually be higher. It's crazy how time flies, though, huh? Soon enough, I'll be dead. One day. I don't really like the shape of the nose on this guy. I think it could be a little bit bigger and pointier. Ooh, maybe I don't like that either. No, I'm not doing the tumbler nose, the like rounded like no, I'm not doing that. Don't die, I gotta see the finished animation. I'm gonna pull a Kintaro Miura, dude. I'm gonna invent a masterpiece and then die. That'd be the way to go, dude. That's how you get legend status. The trick is dying before people can find out that you're like not a good person. You know? Not that I'm a bad person, but I feel like there are a lot of people that if they still were alive and they didn't die, they probably wouldn't be as cool as they were. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Biggie and Tupac, they're like legends in hip hop, right? If Eminem died in his 20s, he'd be a legend too. But now Eminem's in his like 50s and he's cringe. You know, so it's like he lived too long where he's like damaged his legacy. I don't want that. You know, I don't want to start. I don't want to start doing boomer shit where everybody's like, "Oh my god, have you guys seen Snack? He's been fucking saying crazy shit." Gen Z's trying to cancel Snack. If you die, I'll be sad. Well, I won't be. I'll be dead. But I appreciate it. What do you guys think death is like? I don't know if you guys want to get into this topic. This could be too dark, but I am curious if you guys have interesting takes. I'm fairly detached from this topic, so I don't think about death that often. So if this is too heavy for some of you, I apologize. We don't need to go into it, but well, my culture believes in reincarnation. Hell yeah, dude. That'd be sick. What would you want to be reincarnated as? I kind of believe in reincarnation. You just gotta live a new life. I feel like we're all just like a fucking speck on like a somebody at some point. There was like a comedian that said he made an analogy where you're basically all just like a bacteria on like the fucking nutsack, like a cosmic nutsack of some giant being or something like that, some Cthulhu esque shit. Okay, and I feel like there's something like that. We're all just kind of part of one big thing, and I feel like we all have like a very insignificant space on that big thing. But to us, that big thing just feels so significant. I don't know, or that space feels significant, I should say. I believe it's easier to believe there's an afterlife. I mean, look, it would be nice if there was like a place where I could just be eternally happy. Doesn't that sound awesome? I fuck with it, dude. If heaven's real, I fuck with it for sure. I just don't buy it, you know? It seems too man-made. How's long my cigarette drops way lower? I don't like the concept of an afterlife. I think it provides an excuse for people not to try and improve the circumstances of the world we live in. I don't know if I buy that, dude. I think it could do the opposite, right? Like, let's say you're an evil person, okay? Let's say you're literally, this is just a little thought experiment, okay? Most people are not evil people, but let's say you're born as a fucking a lunatic, okay? But you believe strongly that if you live as a positive person doing good on Earth, then you will be like redeemed in the afterlife, right? I think there's benefit to that. I think there's benefit to having a moral structure for people who otherwise wouldn't intuitively be able to have one. Um, Now, do I believe that moral structure, and are there consequences to having the wrong moral structure or having moral structures that don't align with sort of cultural values and stuff like that? For sure, dude, for sure. But like, I don't think that somebody believing in an afterlife is inherently like a bad thing. I'm personally I'm an atheist more or less. I'd say I'm probably more agnostic, but I'm definitely like an atheist. So to me, none of this shit really, I don't really buy most of it. But I don't think there isn't always an inherent harm to belief in greater things. Religion is a different topic, but that's not really what I'm talking about right now. I hate that. I want evil people to be out in the open. Okay, but the question though is, Ian, let's say you're an evil person, but you're only evil in your brain. Like your brain chemistry is evil, but everything that you physically do in the world is good. Are you still evil? That's my question, right? Like if you are, like, let's say I want to do bad things to people, okay? But I know that there are big major social consequences to doing that. And I also, if I strongly believe in an afterlife, I know I'll be punished, and I'm smart enough to know that I shouldn't do those things even though I want to do that, you know. If I don't act out on those evil things, am I still evil? Is the question, right? Like, and I don't know what the answer is there. Probably not is the answer. And so, like, what I'm just saying is, I think not having evil out in the open is not a bad thing. It just means there's less evil in the world being acted on. Anyways, evil people work at Waffle House when they die. Bro, did you work at Waffle House? Who hurt you? We don't have Waffle House here in Canada. At least I don't think we do. Not where I am. Why do I feel like this just feels odd? I'm gonna sort of push the value. Oh yeah, I think the bringing the brow forward a little bit was better. I think he had too much. He was missing too much of the front of his skull. MAGA. Uh-oh. I don't know if we can listen to this guy. Just kidding. Y'all got Maison du Waffle. No, we don't have that either. I'm gonna look where the nearest Waffle House is to me, and I'm not gonna tell you the distance because I don't want you to track me. Waffle House. Okay, well, there is no Waffle House. Is there a Waffle House in Canada? I don't think there's there's no Waffle House in Canada. Just not a thing here. Does Canada have Waffle House? Come on, Google. No. Okay, well, that was easy. That's what I figured. But let's flip that argument. If the only thing that stops you from doing evil is the concept of eternal punishment, then can you really think of yourself as a good person? I mean, the thing is, I think if you don't, it doesn't. Okay, the question you have to ask yourself, Jadu, is does having a negative thought make you, like, does having an evil thought make you evil, or is it the evil action that makes you evil? Because if you have evil thoughts but you never act on them, you're not actually doing any evil. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, one thing is very clearly worse than the other. Doing evil is worse than thinking evil. I can hypothetically think of myself punching an old lady in the face. Okay, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go out and punch an old lady in the face. You know, thoughts are thoughts. Actions are actions. There's two different metrics that we need to like judge people by here. Okay? So if the answer is like, does the threat of eternal punishment stop you from doing evil actions? Does that then make you a good person despite evil thoughts? I would say yeah, probably. I think part of being an evil person is the action part, okay? If you're not taking any evil actions, you're just kind of a guy who like has weird thoughts. Now, this is a philosophy debate, right? So you could argue this either way. I'm not right or wrong on this one. This is just sort of comes down to how you perceive it. But that's sort of my take. I hope I don't reincarnate. Once on this planet is enough for me. I want to be a fucking tardigrade, dude. Make me one of those indestructible little bears. That's what I want. Wait, how long do those things live? You know what? It wouldn't matter because I wouldn't really know what death is. Tardigrade lifespan. They live a few months to about 2 years. You know what's crazy? And I just had this thought, and this isn't like a novel thought. Okay, I'm not inventing anything, so this is gonna blow anybody's minds. But humans are the only animals who like consciously know about death. Like I don't think like dogs or like there's probably animals who instinctively know what death is, like if they see something die, but like it's sort of like not really it really is like a human thing to just know about death or whatever. Oh hell yeah, Bon Jovi. Oh hell yeah. The thing stopping me from evil actions is that they're most of the time they most of the time create problems and be kind of a bother. What are you, an edge lord, bro? You like doing bad things? Bad things is that fun? You ever see that video of that kid who's like, I love doing bad things. Bad things is fun. Anyways, I'm paraphrasing, but whatever. I would argue that no action has an inherent moral value to it, but if only the motivation and justification is after the fact describe a moral value, like killing a guy because he annoyed you is immoral, but killing a guy because he's going to hurt you and your family is not immoral. The action remains the same, but the circumstances change the concept of morality itself. No. It changes the action. That's a completely different thing. Like I don't agree with that at all, dude. I think like if you kill a guy in self defense versus if you kill a guy to murder him, right? Those are two different actions, okay? You can associate like different moralities to them because there are different moralities to them, right? Like it's not like the action objectively is still the same thing where like you in both cases you kill someone, but it's also not, okay? The outcome is the same. A guy dies, okay? But the action is two completely different things, okay? With different purposes, different motivations. They're not equivalent. What the fuck are we talking about? We're talking about morality and basically whether like thought crimes make you evil or if it's just like inherently actionable things that make you evil. Basically what makes you evil. We came off of like a religious discussion on sort of like, you know, whether like a guy who is inherently evil can still like be considered good if he doesn't actually ever act on evil. Anyways, how so? You're still killing a guy. Yeah, but there's a difference between killing a guy who's trying to kill you and killing a guy for funsies. There's like very clearly a difference there. Like the action and outcome are the same, okay? But one is reactive and one isn't, right? Like you're intentionally going out to kill someone, and on the other hand, the other one you're avoiding dying. If you're saying that the motivation changes the action, then that change can go on forever. Anyone can justify any extreme action. No, they can't. The motivation definitely changes the action 100%, but it doesn't justify any extreme action. You can still have unjustifiable actions regardless of the motivation. I could want to kill a guy because she slept with my wife. Let's say I don't have a wife, but like let's say I killed a guy because he slept with my wife. Okay, Just because I could justify that action in my head doesn't make it moral. Like, it's not a good thing, even if the motivation is justifiable in my head. You know, some people might say it is, and you get into like a sort of gray area with shit like that. But for the most part, you know, if for example the guy who's trying to hurt you and your family's doing so under threat, it doesn't reduce the degree of harm he's putting forward. No, it doesn't, but it alters his moral compass. If like it comes down to basically like what you're saying is it's like the trolley problem, right? Like I hurt someone or my family gets hurt, right? If that's the two options, you know, in that circumstance, then I would say, you know, if you looked at it in like a cosmic sense, objectively, where there was no human culture, no human morality or anything like that, and you just looked at it like objectively, okay, then yeah, in that case, like my family or my people don't have any inherent value over other people that I would be doing harm to, right? In that case, I would say the action is equivalent. But, you know, in the case of self-defense and just like premeditated murder, those are very clearly different. Like there's in one case, you know, you die if you don't fight, and in the other case, a guy dies for no reason. You know, like some of y'all would love a stand your ground law. That's true. How are you doing, Mr. Otter? Yeah, what up, Mr. Otter? How you doing, McDoug? How's my favorite man? Like Jadu, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like humans attribute sort of value to their own people more. Like if you're threatening my family versus some abstract family I've never met in my life, my family is always going to have like the priority over others, right? And in that case, I would agree that objectively there's no difference between my family and another family, okay? Other than my emotional attachment to them. That's sort of what skews my perspective value-wise. But in a cosmic sense, the my people aren't worth more than any other people, okay? But I think in terms of like, you know, self-defense versus like offense or like premeditated murder, those are like very objectively different in my opinion. Okay, maybe the example I initially gave wasn't great. How about murder and the concept of self-defense versus murder in war, which isn't really which isn't really considered murder legally? Depends on the war. You know, all these things are going to be relative to the context that they're surrounded by. If we're talking about like World War II, right? There's probably an argument to be made that sort of the Allies had like a moral justification in the murders that they committed within wartime, right? Does that mean that every single murder they committed in wartime or every kill they did during wartime was justifiable? No, for sure, no. You know, but like it's there, you're gonna get into like an endless gray discussion there, right? Is the world better off retaliating against the Nazis? Yes or no? It's like probably yes. The answer is probably yes. Almost got kicked out of uni, but passed my exams last week, so we chillin'. Why'd you almost get kicked out of uni, dude? Well, I'm glad you're not kicked out and you passed your test. Yeah, me too. Yeah, my dick and balls were way too low on that, or way too high on that, dude. Let's put his dick and balls around here. Move him back, actually. All right, I'm going back to bed. I have a big day tomorrow. See ya, Pookies. Bye bye. Eyeballing it. Oh, my eyes are on the balls. That's for sure. Yeah, exactly. The morality of the action is nebulous. There's no universal morality, so ascribing that morality to a given action is something that happens after the fact, rather than the instant the action happens. That's why I said earlier that there's no real morality. No, but you're wrong on that one though, because if we're using the example of World War II, right? If you're using some other war, some unjust war, then maybe. But if you're using the concept of World War II, would have been better? Is the world better off under a like global Nazi regime? The answer is probably like universally across most cultures on Earth going to be no. Okay, and I feel like if you boil that down, it just comes down to like the murder versus self defense argument again. You know, I would argue all murder is bad, even in self defense, or all murder is okay. Okay, just like a murder absolutist. What, you just think you should let yourself be killed? Yeah, but that was established after the war. No, it wasn't, dude. There were like tons of speeches by like leaders like Churchill and like all that, like fucking like all of these wartime leaders gave speeches on morality and survival and the future of the world. Like they knew what they were doing when they went into the war. I just think like you have to ignore a lot of like human intelligence to assume that all of these decisions to sacrifice an entire generation of young boys to go fight a war was determined like after like the reason for that was determined like it just doesn't make sense. Like like people knew they were going into this war for like for the greater good. Like it was a thing that people knew. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a draft. You wouldn't sacrifice like an entire generation of boys. It just doesn't compute to me. Even like the soldiers knew what they were fighting for, right? It's why they can also justify the actions. Imagine someone attacking you and you're just like, go on, kill me. It'd be pretty based. It would like go against every like human instinct, but yeah, but that's propaganda. Everyone who fights needs to believe they're good. They're the good guys, or they wouldn't fight. Churchill wasn't a moral guy. He did a lot of fucked up stuff. It's just on this occasion to align correctly. Yeah, for sure. Like, but what you're saying, dude, is just not correct. I just don't. I don't agree with it at all. Like what you're saying is like every single aspect of propaganda could be right. You can propagandize a generation of people with proper moral values. Just because it's propaganda doesn't make it inherently bad. Okay, propaganda can also be used for terrible stuff, but propagandizing people for war is not necessarily always inherently bad, especially in like the context of World War II. But I don't think saying it's propaganda just takes away the fact that people knew that they were doing a just thing. Oh, war talk. I'm pretty familiar with war. Oh, we've been talking war. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even remember what the original argument was here. I think at this point we're just yapping. You know, something just feels off about this. I feel like the ear should be closer up, maybe. Yeah, propaganda doesn't imply negativity by nature, but what's true of all propaganda is that there's a story told to justify action. If someone is doing good or bad, it's a story that's told by propaganda, not necessarily from the action of having an innate value of morality. I feel like propaganda has more of a political nature. I don't think it's necessarily like I mean, it's a story for sure, but like, what makes propaganda? Now we're gonna get into like what makes propaganda propaganda. I'm gonna start feeling like Jordan Peterson, where I'm gonna be like, well, you need to define what you mean by propaganda. And it's like, I don't know. This could just go on forever, to be quite honest. All that to say, I think that even if you're like, if you act morally throughout your entire life as a consequence of fear of burning for eternity, you're probably a good person because you didn't actually commit any negative actions. If you leave the world doing more good than bad, I think you're a good person. Well, I think if you leave the world doing more good than bad and not actually doing any heinous bad, you're probably a good person. There's some stuff that's just like you can't, no amount of good is gonna redeem that. But in the case for my country, most people just go to war for money. Maybe some of them are ideological too, but I don't know. I mean, I think I know where you're from. I don't know if you've mentioned it in a while, but that war is a little bit more complex. This just doesn't look right, dude. There's something off about this. His like head's too big here. Ohio cat, what up, Great Myers? How you doing, big dog? Chat's trying to turn me into a politics streamer. I'm just doing, but that's okay. Just doing, dude. Come on. I know you. I know you. I know you do more than just do. Come on. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to Daddy Cat. I shouldn't call myself that. I apologize. Slip of the tongue. I'm sleep deprived, alright? Cut me some slack. Okay, we got his cock and balls here, well positioned. Naruto. Oh, you know it. But it's kind of interesting. What if you were fighting Nazis in World War II, but you actually just wanted to kill people and found a legal way to do it? Is it morally okay? It's probably more morally okay than murder. I mean, I could say that objectively. It's probably more morally like it's probably more moral. We're getting into like moral relativism now, so it's just like it's more moral than just straight up murder, right? I'm great, but the night isn't so great. Did you get the joke? I don't think I did. I mean, I heard you say Ohio, and then you said you're just doing, but that's okay. I kind of get it, but I don't really think I get it. Maybe I don't, dude. You know what, Kit Kat? If you're a murderer and you channel your murderous energy to save humanity, okay, that is probably not that bad. I mean, what I find interesting is that killing a Nazi back then is considered moral, but there's people who live today who believe all the same thing the Nazis believed, but if we kill them, it's a massive controversy. Yeah, but the people who do that today aren't like taking massive action, right? They're not invading countries and putting people in concentration camps. This it comes back to what I was saying with action, right? Versus thought crimes. If you're a fucking neo-Nazi who wants to like nationalize your country, kick out immigrants, and make everybody a Christian household, okay? But you're not actually actioning on any of that stuff. You're just talking shit about it online. It's a lot less harmful than somebody who's actually doing that stuff, right? That's sort of where we get back into what we were talking about earlier. Like Dexter. I'm not saying it's good for context here, guys. I'm not saying being a Christian nationalist or like neo-Nazi is a good thing. But I think there's a difference between somebody who just says this shit on the internet and somebody who does this shit to people. Dude, America. Uh-huh. I think it's a bit of a P plus P thing. Prejudice plus power. Go on. Elaborate on that. I don't know what you mean. If you don't have power to enact your views, killing you is probably not a moral thing to do. Um, I think if you have power and you are enacting your views, then I think, the morality becomes a lot less gray and a lot more objective. It becomes a little bit more okay to take action to stop that abuse of power, right? I think if you have power but you don't actually do it, then it's a little different. If you empower people to do it, maybe that's a different art. I don't know. Like, there's so many different ways you could approach this, like endlessly. It is very interesting to think about, but is preemptive action morally okay? No, I don't think so. I think you're getting into like that's where it gets into like what's that fucking Tom Cruise movie where the guys like they can predict who's gonna commit crimes before they commit them or whatever. It just gets really sketchy. These things don't happen in vacuums, IRL. Context is key. Exactly. I like this song. I really like this song. Did somebody cue this up, or is this just the playlist? Bleach ending? This is the Bleach ending? I just like this band. That's probably why it's a little nostalgic, though. I think how you choose to define that could change a lot. I think there's a strong argument to be made that the Charlie Kirk was a stochastic terrorist. He didn't necessarily rely on causing harm himself, but knowing that spreading a message that is malicious against a specific group might inspire someone to act violently towards them is an effective method for pushing that same output. In this case, he would have both have a prejudice and some degree of power to act on that prejudice. I see what you're saying. I don't agree. I think you know the Charlie Kirk thing, I don't think like political killings should be sanctioned in any regard. I know what you're saying, but I think that like if anything, him being assassinated has probably just sort of like lit the fuse even harder and sort of accelerated a lot of division. So if it ends up leading to more negative physical action, I think it's as a consequence of it and not, in spite of it. Like, I think if he wouldn't have been killed, then, you probably wouldn't have gotten the same degree of accelerationism. Not that I think we're going to get to, like, some fucking Civil War point or anything like that, but it's just, I don't think I agree, and I don't think that political killings are a good thing. Whether I agree or not with the person speaking, but Anyways, I will say I don't really want to steer this too political. I would rather keep it more philosophical. I don't mind using the Nazis and stuff because that's something that's just sort of everybody was taught that shit growing up. More recent political stuff, it just gets into too much of a political territory. So maybe we'll steer away from that one. But I don't think his views were that radical. Plus, he didn't have structural power to actually change things. Yeah, the irony is that he's kind of just like a classic conservative dude. That being said, doesn't mean that doesn't mean he's right, but I just don't really like the way this leg looks. There's something really off about it. Let me move this back. Boom, 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 boom. We're steering away from the killing politicians talk. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, dude, if you hang out with the president, you have some degree of power. You wouldn't be hanging out with the president if you didn't have any power. I mean, he definitely had power, for sure. But, having power and inciting violence are like two different things. Even if you disagree with the rhetoric. I love this song. Me too, dude. Just to establish I'm anti-political violence, this conversation is purely philosophical. Yeah, that's fine, dude. I'm not offended by any of this shit. This stuff is fun for me to talk about. The thing is, I just sort of when it gets into like more heavy recent topics like this, my kind of perspective is I want to avoid it because I'm fine with talking about more generalized things. I don't want to get into more niche political stuff just because of how many viewers we have, and we're an art stream, right? It's just not something I want for everybody in chat. Granted, Jadu, it doesn't bother me. Like this stuff doesn't bother me to discuss, but we're just gonna move on. I'll let you guys have the final word, and then we'll switch to something else about how freaking awesome and sick anime is, or something like that. I don't know. Why does this look so fucking weird, dude? There's just something really off about it. I think his temple's too close. Or too far back, I should say. Final word. Just to establish, I'm pro political violence. Preparing my sniper rifle right now. Okay. I'm gonna take that as a joke, otherwise I gotta time your ass out. I don't need fucking news articles about me radicalizing my chat to commit political action. I'm gonna be the next fucking liberal, like, furry guy trending in the news. I'm not affiliated with the comment above yet. Me neither, dude. CNN. If anything happens, I swear to God, I don't agree with this guy. Fox News. I'm not gay. Okay, I'm a white boy. I'm stock. I'm factory issued, dude. Be easy on me, okay? The furry thing's just a marketing thing. Still just feels like weird. Okay, if we're talking moral philosophy, do you think there's any point having a moral guilt for not recycling or taking other environmental protective action if you know that it could take 100 lifetimes to undo what Coca-Cola does in plastic production one afternoon? Probably. I think that stuff should be sort of regulated through like policy, though, and like punishment through taxation or whatever the fuck. I'm more aligned sort of with that shit. Furry VTuber with big tits art streaming. You expect us to believe you're not gay? Yeah, no, I'm never. You guys, none of you guys can commit any fucking heinous acts, okay, guys? I'm never gonna survive the PR. It's just not gonna work, dude. I have everything going against me. Please. What the fuck? Did I erase the other ear out? When did I do that? I mean, he's a little gay. I'm not a little gay. I'm not gay. Wishful thinking, that's all. On your part, by the way. I'm not gonna fuck you, Jadu. Give it up. Canadians, it's only natural. No, we're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong if we are. Well, actually, a lot of us are, I should say. I don't know what the statistics are, but it's probably quite a few. Chin, chin. Okay, I think it's the eyes that just feel odd to me. I'm gonna droop them a little bit. I have a girlfriend. She's real. Take my word for it. Yeah, me too, dude. If my girlfriend goes to another Twitch stream, exactly. There's something just so off about this profile. I don't know how to like. Hey, what a bus crafter! What a name, dude. So, how does that work? Bus crafting. Please elaborate, bus crafter. I don't know if like it's supposed to be a funny name or if it's unintentionally funny. I think it's hilarious though. The imagery is immaculate. Zoom in to what my friggin' my little anime guy. It was unplanned. Well, good job, dude. Seriously, good stuff. Bustin makes me feel good. Anyways, I'm gonna stop mocking your name now. I apologize. This is a bad first impression. I swear I'm nice. Your nose is a bit low. No, it isn't. What are you talking about? Also, thank you for the unsolicited critique. Actually, I did technically solicit it. I was implying I had no idea what the fuck was going on with this thing. I don't think it's low though. I think the bottom of the nose is here, the tip's roughly here, which more or less lines up with what we have. It could be lower, to be quite honest. I'm gonna make it lower. Crafting a small statue from the chest upwards. If he's not gay, then explain this beautiful, sexy anime man. Pro imagination too. My hot yaoi anime brain. Based meds were made up by big corporations to prevent you from reaching your full potential. What is this schizo stream, dude? I do agree there's something off about the nose. I don't think it's the height, though. Cat Sack's my favorite alt-right influencer. Aw, shucks, dude. Yeah, it's not bad. It seems like you were asking, but then again, it's probably your way of drawing the face. I don't know if I can give a take since I also like character. It's all good, dude. I'm not offended. I was just feeling a little spicy there. I don't know why I bit your head off. I apologize, Buscrafter. All right, we cool. There is something wrong about the side profile. I just don't know what the fuck it is. Anyways, I'm not gonna worry about it too much right now. It's fine. I have super thick skin. It sounds like a sexual innuendo. That's how I'm taking it. All right. You hitting on me, Bust? I hope so. Okay. I think it's the width too is a little. I should probably look at some anime character sheets just to see how they would do the profile on a friggin' on a guy like this. Let me look at some reference. Let me do the crime of looking at reference. Give me a second here while I browse Pinterest for some reference. Here's a good example. I gotta find somebody with slick back hair. I don't have to find it, I guess, but it would just help. Okay. Speaking of, ooh, this could work. It's very pixelated, maybe not. Bear with me, guys. We're almost there. Maybe. Okay, we're gonna try Kakashi. Let's look at this Kakashi profile. See how he did it. Just need the profile view. I don't need all this other shit. All right, give me a second here. Bye bye. I mean, it looks like he gets into a lot of fights and has a broken nose, maybe. Oh, I'm definitely going for like a stylized nose. I like if you look at the way I do a lot of like the oops, like the way I do like noses from the profile. I really like the sort of like the pronounced hump. I think it looks a lot more realistic rather than like going full anime or whatever. So I'm definitely doing some weird shit. I just haven't really settled on what I want the design to look like. Looks pretty good to me. Thank you so much, Sextra. Oni, I go to sleep. Good night. Thanks for the stream. See you tomorrow. Peace. See you tomorrow, big dog. See you tomorrow. 12 p.m. That's what we'll be streaming. Would you rather have everyone know that you have a tiny penis but be incredibly good in bed? Or would you like the status of a huge slong but be mediocre? I feel like I'd like the fucking the the pinpoint accurate needle. I think we've had this discussion before, and I think last time I was like, I basically want to be like fucking Neji from the Hyuga clan with my chakra point precision, dude. Just fucking sniping girls' G spots with my micro peen. I think that's what I'd be doing. I'm taking the tiny hog, but with the fucking the like Chris Kyle accuracy. What about finding a character sheet from Samurai Champloo? It reminds me of that a bit. I looked, but the thing is, Mugen's hair is fucking massive. I do have one, but his hair is like really, really big. I needed something that was a little bit more flush to the skull. That's why I pulled up Kakashi. Just because my character's head is a lot more slick back, so it's a little closer to his skull. That's sort of why I chose that, just because there's less volume. For real, I could change up the question if you like. What do you mean? I already answered. But do you have a pronounced hump? I do. I got the fucking French Canadian nose, dude. My nose is like this. Have you never seen my self portraits? I always draw myself like this, dude. This is me. Acupuncture level technique in bed. That's right. I'm hitting those chakra points, dude. Lady's gonna be gushing. All right. Hidden technique. That's a Pokemon? You can give him fish. He's gonna be a water type Pokemon. Okay, I'm gonna look at this. I'm looking at the distance here. I think my eyes are pretty good. His face is a lot flatter. I don't know if I really want to. Do I want to do that? Do I want to tone down the brow? Maybe a little bit. I could just trim the brow down a little bit. I don't want to do it too much. Let me go to the right layer here. This looks like Trump a bit for some reason. It's the pouty lips, dude. That's probably what it is. You're talking about this guy, right? Like if I was like soak no jutsu, yeah. Come attack. Don't clip that. Now that you mention it, I've seen you draw yourself before. It's true. I'm growing a mustache right now, guys. It's kind of pathetic at the moment because it's just growing in. It's just like little sprinkles here, but it'll be glorious. I promise. Wallahi. It looks like you're about to do a mountain of cocaine. Oh, I could. With my nostrils, dude, I could overdose. I could speed run that death. I guarantee it. Can we now acknowledge that when Kakashi did his 1,000 years of pain on Naruto, sexual harassment? Yeah, it probably was. Look, man, fucking Jiraiya was like a literal like pervert who snuck into like bathhouses. He'd be like behind the bars by any normal standard. Okay, what are you gonna do? That's life. You don't want to meet your heroes. You know. Okay. Anyways, what do I feel is off about this? I'm looking at my guy. I'm looking at his guy. I think my chin could push back a bit more, maybe. Just a little bit. You'll be walking around with that porn stash. Oh, my porn stash is gonna be epic, epic, dude. You know what it is? Oh no, my hairline's in the right spot. Where's the top of my skull? The top of my skull is way lower than this guy's skull. That's probably what's feeling a little off here. Let me fix that. But now he's gonna look like he's got fucking a giant head. How do I make this work? Liquefy, where are you? I'm gonna cheat it. I think it really is just the back of the head that needs to be taller, not so much the front. I tried growing a mustache and beard, but they started to tickle, so I shaved them off. That happens. So basically, once you hit like the 2 week mark, you start to get like a really itchy upper lip. And I think you gotta tank it, dude, because you're on the sort of precipice of it no longer bothering you, and then you just have to worry about getting shit caught in it, like food. Okay, not literal shit, but food. Well, some of you guys are getting up to some crazy stuff. I heard you guys chatting earlier. In my case, though, it's food. I got hit with an ad break. I'll wait for you, kid. Do beard and mustache get in the way when you eat? Oh, fuck yeah, they do. I'm back from it. That was quick. What? Now you're supposed to be gone for 3 minutes, dude. What's going on? Where's my ad revenue? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wanted you guys back. Okay. There's just something off. I'm looking at this. Okay. The ear, roughly middle. My ear, roughly middle. I think this could be a little flatter here. Okay, that's looking better. I think I'm working with I gotta do millimeter fixes here. I think the issue is just so subtle. The fuck? Mine don't, but that's because I can't grow a super long beard. I can't grow a beard. I can going back to my image here, okay? I can grow like this, and then like I can grow an epic neck beard, dude. If I was like Amish, I'd be a fucking killer Amish guy. I'd be able to grow a goat like fucking stash, but nothing grows in this area. And then I have the most like Middle Eastern looking mustache. By the way, this is not how I grew myself. I'm just saying this is like if I grew my facial hair out. This is what I could do a goatee. I could go full skinhead, grow the goatee. I don't know what my head looks like bald. I don't know if I really want to shave my head. Anyways, I usually just opt for the mustache because I'm an urban hipster, okay? With no shame. It's the best look I could pull off. Back when I was like a young guy in my 20s, I did like the musketeer, you know what I mean? Like the mustache and little pinch, the combo. I thought it was tasteful, but looking back on it, it probably wasn't. Thank you for the follow, Yak Albinos. I love me an albino yak. My hair's too curly. There's space between the jaw and the ear. There kind of is. Fuck. What do we got? Who's following little old me? Buscrafter. Following little old me. She. I forgot I'm live on fucking YouTube right now. I gotta remember to turn that off. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be streaming for the next 24 hours. Oh, good. I didn't miss a single comment. That's good. Nobody comments in my fucking YouTube streams. Uh, why am I not? There we go. That must be so annoying. I recently grew out my hair and the hair's getting into my mouth when I eat. It's such a pain. I used to have really long hair. No, I'm listening to myself on YouTube right now. That's annoying. Okay. Yeah, I used to have really long hair. My hair used to be like, I looked basically like this. Then my hair gets like curly when it's long. I don't know why I look so fucking sad here, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Pretend I'm happy, all right? And then I had an epic mustache. People say I look like Ron Jeremy. It's not really a compliment, but it is funny. It looked better, okay? It looked better, I promise. I kind of just look like a homeless person in this rendition, but I swear it looked better. I'm kind of getting to the point now where I really want to cut my hair because I gotta start using gel and shit. Otherwise, it's just a fucking mess. When you have long hair, as a guy with, or if you're a person with curly hair, it is a fucking nightmare to manage, dude. You got the bushy brows, kind of. I mean, they're not massively bushy, but they're they're not like invisible brows. You know what I mean? I have average brows, maybe a little above average brows, but nothing crazy. I've been complimented on my eyebrows once in my life. Chat, I don't know what to do about this fucking guy's hair. It is really pissing me off. Does the neck need to be thicker? Okay, I'm looking for advice now. If anybody's got it, open season on critiques. Okay, I won't rip your head off. I promise. Maybe I will. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I will. Who knows? You better be good advice, all right? I'm gonna go piss and then I'll come back and read your advice. BRB. I got myself a little banana on the way back. Just spat all over my tablet. Gross. Draw him bald. Just change his entire look. He needs booba. Oh yeah, I forgot. I can't have my tits out the whole stream, dude. I feel like everybody thinks I'm just like a guy who has tits. That's not my default state. It's like a redeem that I always forget to turn off. He's quite lean, so maybe not too thick of a neck. I know, but he feels too thin right now. I'm picturing like athletic at least. Like the chin's in the right spot. Top of the skull is still a little short, but I think that's more, based off the height back here. Just kind of got like a down tilt thing going on, just a subtle one. I think it's just like not a very appealing design on the back of the hair here. Ugh. whatever. We'll come back to this. It's not super important right now. Let's go down to his cock and balls and figure this out. I'll do his other hand too while we're there. You wouldn't really see much the other hand. Maybe a little bit here. I hope that's a leg on the side view. Yeah. Nah, it's a big ass dick, dude. I'm trying to get banned. I'm tired of this streaming thing. Should be drawing massive cocks for as long as I can get away with it, I think. It's my new specialization, guys. Hashtag cock is gonna be added to my tags. Nah, it's his leg. This leg comes forward, so I gotta figure out how to position that leg. It hinges at the hip here, so I should probably push this out. You're probably not gonna see the arm like at all, actually. But the tilt on his legs isn't extreme. Like his foot comes forward a little bit, but like if you look at them in perspective, they're still relatively close to each other. They're more or less aligned. So you wouldn't actually see the far leg very much. Do you think you'd get in trouble if you did a stream just drawing roosters and then put the tag cock? Probably not. There's a lady on stream. She's live right now. Her name's Pinion Paint, and she always has like a stream title that says "Come look at my tits," but it's because she draws birds, and she draws like tits, like the bird. But her stream always like, she seems to be doing fine, so you can probably get away with it. Don't worry, Picardo will take refugees if you oddly do. I've thought about streaming on Picardo. I just don't know if I want to. I had a buddy who did. Genius, yeah, I thought it was pretty funny too. I was like, oh, it's kind of risque. I don't know if I'd be able to pull that off, but I guess you probably could. Yeah, this foot's farther back in space. This foot probably is going to be lined up more or less here. I don't like where this lines up. I feel like that's a little low. Yeah, the crease in the calf here is too low. I'm gonna bring this up. Honestly, I would intentionally push the boundary to see what I could get away with, and then pull back after the first warning. The thing is, what if the first warning is just like a permaban, you know, and then you've just blown it all? I'm I have enough edge as it is. I don't know that I really need to push things with my art, you know. We just spent 2 hours talking about World War II and neo Nazis. Okay, so I think I'm on the edge of what's acceptable on art streams as it is. Oh, it looks so stiff. I gotta fix the fucking gesture in this. Let me pull his whole torso back. I am gonna move his head forward also. I'm looking at Kakashi here, and I feel like there's a stronger gesture going through the head. I don't have that. So let me try that. I still really don't like this leg. It's just that's too much. Something off. You gotta get bigger, cat. Then you can say whatever you want. That's true. I can interview terrorists. I can do whatever I want. Guys, you need to give me absolute power. You need to send me to your mom, send me to your brother, send me to whoever you want, dude. I'm gonna start. If you get me to 3,000 concurrent viewers, I'm gonna electrocute a dog, guys. You got. I promise, I'll do it. Can get you on Fox News tomorrow. I don't know. That scares me. I don't know why. How could you do that? Oh yeah, I asked earlier if you have a huge project idea full of stuff you've never done before. How would you go about approaching it? I don't actually. This is probably as thought out as I've ever done anything. Normally, I just fucking shit things out until I'm happy with them. Okay, tilt is better. It turns out just find another streamer called Dog and just tase him. Any volunteers? Mouse tases dog. Is that why you keep calling us Big Dog? No, it's just a term of endearment. It's basically like it's like my sport, you know, or champ. You guys are all like my little children, and so I treat you like I'm raising you, because some of you I have to raise literally. Some of you say such terrible things that I'm like this person needs a parent right now, and I've never had a kid, so you guys are gonna be my children or whatever. I don't know. I haven't really put that much thought in it. Originally, we were supposed to be a cult, but now I seem to be more of a father figure to some people somehow. Just hitting doggos with a Thundaga spell. Yeah, exactly. The Witch Bolt. Okay. I think if I push, I'm gonna actually push the jacket out more and see if that can create a better gesture. I don't really like. It's a fucking. It's a character turnaround. It doesn't need to be the most gestural thing in the world. I'm just OCD. Okay. Realistically, this shit could be stiff and flat. It's just for proportions for animation. But I want it to be pretty because I'm a tryhard. Okay, let's okay, that would curve probably in like that. I think his Pinor needs to be a little bit more forward. Let's move it. I'm trying to think if we got a gesture line going through the Pinor. Let's put it like here-ish. See if we get a stronger gesture going through this guy. Let's move his flat ass a little bit more towards the front also. I mean more parenting than I got from my actual dad anyways. Tragic, dude. That really sucks. I don't know how to respond to stuff like that. So many OCD tryhards, that's why I dropped my OCD. I think there's value in being mildly obsessive about shit. As long as it's not damaging your mental health, I think you should fucking be obsessed with your art a little bit, you know? I think if you're not sleeping and you're hating yourself and you're being mean to yourself or whatever, maybe not. Yeah, I'm looking. Where does Kakashi's ass line up relative to his shoulders? His shoulders are a lot more centered. Can you just drop OCD Well, if you have the TikTok self-diagnosed version like I do, then yeah, it's very easy to get rid of. If you have the proper medical one, I don't know, I can't relate. My man out here locking in on Kakashi's ass. I just like the way it looks. He even has the fucking leg forward like I'm doing. He's big brain, dude. The only thing he doesn't have is the contrapposto and the shoulders and the hips. Otherwise, you just assume I plagiarized Kakashi, which I didn't, guys. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. How many mental health conditions do you think are actually significant issues versus people medicalizing themselves because they don't fit into an already fucked up societal structure? I don't know. Mental health stuff is like very weird because it's technically like mental health. There's no actual like mental health disease. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like you can. I mean, you can look at like a brain and see like chemical imbalances and stuff like that, but it's like a person who has like schizophrenia is not sick. You know what I mean? It like just philosophically speaking, their brain is just wired differently, and like you could say that that's just like a byproduct of their personality, right? Or somebody with Tourette's or something like that, where they have sort of idiosyncrasies that are a little bit more of like unavoidable than others, right? Like we're gonna get into like free will discussions on this shit, but I don't know that like you know that's definitely not what you're asking. I'm getting a little too esoteric with it. What you're saying is how many mental health conditions you think are actually significant issues or people medical. I don't know. There's probably a lot of medical like mental health issues that go undiagnosed as well in a lot of people. So it's a double edged sword where people are probably some. There are probably a good number of people who self-diagnose for clout chasing, you know, or they want to feel like they have some sort of justification for why their life is the way it is. There are also people who probably have significant issues that just go undiagnosed because culture, interest in getting a diagnosis, access to resources to get a diagnosis like insurance, whatever, blah blah blah. You know, so it probably depends on the mental illness. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'm a fucking guy who draws anime dudes on the internet. I don't have those answers. You guys are really hitting me with the hard hitting questions today. I opened stream saying I slept like 5 hours or whatever. And everybody's like, everyone wants to get deep. I will say I did rapid fire that micro penis answer. That one was locked and loaded. Okay, I don't have to think about that one. It's philosophy day, I guess. I suppose. Is one of the problems is that it's expensive to speak to a therapist. Depends where you live. Depends what you do for a living. All that stuff. But yeah, in general, yeah, probably. It probably very is. It probably is difficult for a lot of people to get a diagnosis. I'm Canadian, so my perspective is a little skewed because we have free healthcare. Okay, it's not very difficult for me to get into therapy. Let's fix the world through art, if only. Yes, answer our life questions. So great, wise cat snack. It is interesting being like a Twitch streamer because you are more or less like the singular figure that people are talking to for the most part. People talk to each other in chat, but in general, when people are asking like fucking deep life altering questions, they're kind of just asking me, and I'm like, oh, I'm not qualified to answer a lot of this shit. I can make jokes and probably be offensive. That's as good as it gets, though. I'm an entertainer, all right. I'm in the UK. We kind of have free healthcare here, but good luck accessing it because it's been systematically dismantled. Tragic, dude. Do you have an accent? I've been reading your everything you say, dude. I've been reading with like my American fucking Western like accent. Okay, you sound like me in my head. All of you sound like me in my head. Sometimes it's very weird getting into like VC with someone because in my head I read everything you guys say in like a fucking Canadian accent or the way I talk. And so when I hear you guys talk and you sound completely different, it's like mind blowing to me. Like hearing Verbanter was in VC one day, and he's a fucking German accent, and I was like, I did not expect that at all. Damn, I sound sexy. Are you hitting on me, Sextra? I'll never want you guys to hear my voice. Why, Sid? What's wrong with your voice? Boom, 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 boom. Still looking kind of weird. Ooh, actually, I gotta check the eyebrows. The eyebrows line up with the corner of the eye here. I don't know if that's actually how eyebrows work from profile. Of course, this motherfucker doesn't have eyebrows. All right, new reference. Okay, it looks like the references I'm seeing online, the eyebrows go a little bit farther back. Not by a huge amount, though. I could cheat it with my liquify tool. I think the corner of the eye would be a little bit more rounded, less pointy. Oops. I don't want to liquefy. No, give me a normal brush, bitch. All right, there we go. Can't you just keep the Kazuya Mishima eyebrows? Is that whose eyebrows I plagiarized? Oh, let me see. Never heard of this guy in my life. Just for the record, when you guys come for me, Gen Z. Kazuya Mishima. Okay, I see. Base, dude. Okay, what does this guy look like from the profile? Goofy as hell, dude. I'm insecure about my voice. I mean, everybody kind of is, dude. I feel like hearing yourself talk is a strange thing. It's not like, especially because the way you sound in your own head is very different the way you actually sound to others, right? Like I sound not great in my head. I think I actually sound better recorded than I do fucking in my head. What's the Okay, his apex is a lot higher. Let me push my apex back a little bit. Very round, very light. Okay, let me round out the forehead here. See if we can do something little nicer. Doria. Y'all just saying shit now. Doira. Oh no, he pulled up Kazuya. Well, you gave me like perfect reference, dude. I can't ignore it. Like, I'm looking at my sternocleidomastoid. My angle's way off on my SCM, dude. Let me pull that shit back. I'm also thinking my chest needs to come up more. Shoulder probably in more. Actually, I'm going to keep the chest where it was. I'm going to bring the shoulder in. Whoa. I am some fucking tiggle bitties, dude. Let me... Do a jiggle. You know it do. You know it do, Jadu. See, this is why everybody thinks I'm a fucking guy with tits, dude. Because you guys keep redeeming this shit. Why is it not working? Where are my titties at? Okay, there they are. I'm not watching my stream live. I can't get one fucking stream with my flat chest the whole way through. I always gotta be this fucking quirked up white boy, you know? With the giant fucking bazoognazongs, dude. Glad. Speaking of Germans, how you do? You're killing me. See what you do to this. See what you did, Glad. Give me a second. I need water now. Choking on my own spit. But you took my breath away, dude. You took my breath away, girl. Shit. You got me stuttering, too. What are you doing to me? How you doing, Glad? By the way, Doria is what he yells when he does his iconic move in Tekken. Okay. It's kind of like Fox McCloud in Smash Melee. Hit! I don't know what the fuck. How does he sound? He goes, yeah. No, that's probably not what he does. I gotta play Melee again, dude. Two idiots, same jokes. Huh? What are you talking about? Do you think men appreciate boobs more because they think they don't have them? Or do you think men would generally be happier if they had their own breasts? I don't want tits, dude. I'm fine with ladies having tits. I like exercising. I don't want to be fucking double punched in the face. Because I know I would have awesome tit genetics. I would have the biggest tits, guys, okay? I just know I would. I just feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Feel it in my balls, alright? My tits would be fucking huge, and it would make it really hard to do anything physical. I don't want that. Case in point. Nice cock, Glad. Guess my D would be huge too. I feel like you'd have a pretty freaking big and rock hard solid cock, dude. I believe in you. I know you would. Actually sculpting boobs right now? Uh-huh. Very nice. I think we just like looking at them, especially a nice cleavage. I do love titties. You'll never get a complaint out of me, okay? For titties. Okay, I can do the ass better here, I think. I think this leg needs to be a little straighter, like me. Let's do that. Nix, you guys know each other? What up, Alla? Alla Nix. Rocking an 8.2 and it's an 8.8 out of 10. Let me show you guys how it's done. All right. Let me show you how it's done. Okay, well we can mods remove that. Eddie, you could try dick rating too. The bot has like a weird cooldown. It takes like it fucking shits itself if you use it too frequently. But give it another shot, and it should work. You can also do exclamation mark dick rating, all one word, as an alternative. It's the same command. It's just an alternative command to stop it from getting all fucked up. No D. The bot has spoken. Pushed up, dude. Very nice. Nick Stradamus, how you doing, big dog? Welcome in, welcome in. Neek Stradamus, I should say. I can give you some inches, Snack. It's okay. I got enough for the two of us. And all right, you didn't hear our conversation earlier, but I'm rocking the micropene. I'm bringing it back, dude. I'm making it stylish again. I'm just gonna need to become like the fucking. I'm gonna need pinpoint accuracy, dude. That's all. I just gotta work on my stroke game. I need some practice though. Yes, second try, got it right. Neekstradamus. No worries, big dog. What did you predict, Neekstradamus? What's your big claim to fame? Cycling back to the twink snack arc, I'm not a twink. I'm not a twink. I'm probably closer to a bear than a twink, but I'm not as fat as a bear. Sorry, my sound was low. What was the question? I said what have you predicted, Neekstradamus? What prediction have you made, given that your name is Neekstradamus? So you're an otter, like a fatter otter, I guess. Oh, my prediction. Yes, let's hear it. It just looks weird still. There's like too much weirdness going on here. I predict I'll be making a lot of art in the coming months. Glad someone caught the play on words. You flatter me. You flatter my name genius. For every 5 or 10 names that I get wrong to every one that I get right, okay? Just know when I get it right, I get it really right, guys. So forgive me, all right? We can't always be perfect. I can't always be a perfect being. I did fuck up your name the first time though, but that's okay. We don't need to talk about that. I got a post on Insta today that said my doctor diagnosed a micropene today. What are the odds? What are the odds? I think I want this to be a little bit more curved in. So let's do a little bit of that. Something like that. I just want more of like a gesture line coming through here. Same with this one, but I think the gesture line needs to come out more. Is this from Gintama? I have no idea, dude. I'm just putting on the most generic like weave shit I could find on Spotify. I have no idea what this is from. The original playlist was all Naruto because I'm a little bit of a Narutard, but beyond that, I think the algorithm is just doing its thing right now. True, but I've been on an art grind for the last 3 weeks and I'm still going strong. Hell yeah, dude. That's what I like to hear. Well, look, Nickstradamus, a big part of this community, okay? And I say this, recognizing now how aggressive I was to my beautiful bus crafter when he gave me feedback on my art. But a big part of this community is we do live feedback. So if ever you want feedback on your work, and if ever you're interested in improving and getting a second opinion, you're more than welcome to join our Discord, post in the Art Critiques channel, and I'll go over your work live on stream for free. Okay, that is looking a little questionable. I don't know if I need him that fucking bulged up, dude. Oh right, did anyone do the homework? What was the homework again? Feet? What did we say? Did we have the Gooner homework or was it something else? Someone remind me. I see a comment by Vane saying, since your bitch ass isn't reading chat, we see nothing on stream. I think this is when I was sharing Discord and well, thought I was sharing Discord, but was just sharing a black screen talking to myself. Is this song from Bleach? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe. There was none? No, you shut up. There was homework. I know there was. Don't blaspheme, Glad. My dog ate my homework? Uh-huh. You're only hurting yourself, Eddie. I've slumped on my skills during a drawn-out part of my studies, and recently I started getting back into it again because of fun reasons. It's very ominous. Fun reasons. That sounds like you're drawing porn on the internet. I'm just gonna put that. That's what it reads like, and it's cool. I don't care. But anyways. And since the last 3 weeks, I've been focusing real hard on different things, and it's been such a relief. Focusing real hard, huh? All right, I see you, Nickstradamus. No, sorry. I've drawn more in the last 3 weeks than all the months leading up to this. Commissions and streaming. Oh hell yeah, dude. I get the streaming bit. I feel like streaming is a good way to adhere to art. That's what I will say. That's what I get out of it. I think it's a good way to commit and to sort of have accountability for producing art. That's why I like it. And obviously, chat is awesome sometimes when they're not raising my blood pressure. Drawing porn on the internet, one of us. What do you mean, one of us, dude? I'm PG-13. I'm pure, okay? Well, I'm 18 plus as a channel, but my art content is pure and wholesome chungus, dude. This still feels wrong to me. There's still a lot of shit that feels wrong here. Let me just break this guy a little bit just to see if we can get a more interesting posture. That ain't right. do think it looks better back here. Bleach ending 7. Damn, you're doing a full ass investigation, huh? Well, there you go. I'm reading the Discord right now, Snack. Don't try to gaslight me. I would never. I don't do that. I'm a feminist, dude. I don't gaslight women. So the enjoyment is back. Hell yeah, dude. And seeing the improvement in real time with others. Seeing improvement is dope. I will say it's hard. It's one of those things that's really difficult to quantify and to sort of like tell whether you've improved or not. You know, but also material studies and so on, working towards full illustrations, etc., etc. So yeah, hell yeah, dude. Well, look, that's sick. I think you should keep on that. You know, I think you're doing good as long as you stay on track. You're gonna be a star, kid. I believe in you. Just to point out, tits are a type of bird, and birds is also UK slang for women. So I feel like you're not convincing me otherwise. Birds is also slang for women here in the West. Probably not as common as in the UK, but I've joined the Discord as well. Hell yeah. Indoctrination is beginning now. Now we get to friggin' strap you down and blast you with my propaganda. Where is my pen? Why is it not drawing? What is going on here? Why is it drawing white? Pen? What the fuck? Well, that was weird. Oh yeah, this is Brotherhood for sure. 1.5, but it's 12.3, bro. You got the sniper cog, dude. Fucking hitting that G spot. Long range. Well, I guess short range. You got the fucking blast, the precision shotgun. The sawed off that never misses. He just looks weird, dude. I don't know. I don't dig it. I don't really like what's going on right now. He also has no hamstrings. Ugh, there's so much wrong with this. Let's bring this leg back more. I think this leg could go back more. Why do I care so much about a character turnaround? I don't know. I don't know, dude. Let's bring this back. And we're going to hinge the knee forward a little bit. We're going to hyperextend his knee just a little bit. Oops. That's that high precision BB gun. Yeah, but it do be killing. I know what that means. What if I point his foot outwards a little bit? Am I tripping? No, I'm tripping. The Brotherhood openings, dude, went so fucking hard. I don't know. That and like I mean Naruto's just like nostalgic for me. I'm trying to think of like what other openings just like are on that level. Brotherhood to me was just so fucking peak. I'm looking at the knees in perspective here. This knee is pretty low. This knee could go lower. Or could it go higher? It might be able to go higher. Because this leg is pretty... Oh yeah, let me. I'm just guessing at this point. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Guys, I don't mean to be a buzzkill, but I'm probably gonna wrap up stream pretty soon. I'm just a little EP, you know. But don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow may be a short stream. Also, I will say Sunday should be normal. I'll share some recent studies in Discord. By the way, hell yeah, let's see it. Sorry, I missed. You on tomorrow or not? Oh, I'm on tomorrow. I'm on tomorrow. I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time, same as usual. The only reason I didn't stream on Saturday and Sunday last weekend was because I was at a wedding. Well, I was at a wedding on Saturday and I was incredibly hungover on Sunday. But otherwise, the schedule's the schedule, you know? Just feels odd. Could I get a crit before you did? Of course, Jadu. Of course. Where's your fucking drawing, baby girl? I don't see shit in the critiques channel. Where is it, Jadu? Get on it. He might be watching ads right now. Actually, oh no, he's subbed. Let me. Ads started 3 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna run the ads. No, do I? Yeah, I'm gonna run them now, just so that by the time Jadu gives me the critique, we'll be back from ads. I'll be right back. This is Naruto. I know this. It's up. Okay. There's a minute and a half left on the ads. I'm gonna try and fix this guy's leg, and then we'll jump into your little crits. Let me look at this. Let me ponder what I'm gonna say. Okay, same guy, huh? All right. I really like your profile, by the way. I think the profile works really well here. Um, I think the front on face, the issue I'm having is just more like the shape design of the character. He has very generic features. And it's more of like a stylistic critique in this case. And I know this was your original drawing and now you're adapting it to front on. I just feel like the issue right now is if you look, like if you draw the eyes here, they're basically like perfect almonds. You know, they're like, I mean, there's like slight shape variety here on the corner, but in general, they're like, they feel even. You know what I mean? Like the height here is the same as the height here. Whereas if you do something where, like, let's say you break this up into thirds, I'm just gonna wait till everybody's back before I go into it. All right, everybody should be back from ads now. So going into this, what I was telling Jadu is it looks like the features feel a little too generic to me, and they could be pushed more. And the way you can do that is by changing up proportions, essentially, right? Um, so for starters, I would instead of having these sides be relatively even, I would shrink one down, have the other one be bigger. So if I was gonna do the eye, I'd maybe do something like this, right? I would elevate this corner or lower the corner, depending on what you want, right? So it's not perfectly even on the same level as this other corner. Okay, so if I elevate the corner here, maybe I'll get something like this. Right? So now this corner is slightly lower than this corner. We could even push that more. Okay, and I think you get a more interesting shape that way. Now, you know, this height here isn't the same as this height here. There's shape variety, right? You get all this negative space here. This corner isn't the same height as this corner here. It's a little bit more interesting. So these are just sort of little things I like to do to just make the position or the features a little bit more interesting. Red Velvet 22, how you doing? We're in the middle of a critique for a chatter. This is what we were working on before. We're doing a little anime guy here. And then we're going to port him over to my animation that I've been working on. Just giving, I think I'm going to give a little recap on what we were doing on stream today. And then we're going to basically animate that guy into the scene that I roughed out last week. Once we're done with his turnaround. But yeah, so that's essentially what we're doing. And right now we're about to wrap up stream. So you're catching me at the end of stream, Red Velvet, and we're going over a critique for a chatter called Jadu Arts. You're doing your own animation too? Hell yeah, dude. I dig it. Okay, another thing I would say, dude, is your eye is like your iris is fucking huge. Like it's very, very big. I would really trim that down a little bit. And remember what I told you before? I don't know if it was you I was telling. Typically what I like to do is leave just a little bit of negative space between the bottom of the eyelid and the bottom of the iris. Okay? I just feel like it looks a little bit more natural, right? Like if I have an eye that's sort of like, let's say it's even if it's the same size, but it's just sort of like just barely tangenting here. Just barely tangenting. It's gonna feel a little bit more appealing, in my opinion. That's sort of my intuition. I don't know if there's any rules around this, but that's sort of how I tend to do things. Like if you look here, there's quite a bit of negative space between the eyes. I vary up the line weight here on these so they're not the same. You know, the corners of the eyes are much lower here. The width is much different on these 2 points. Like I'm applying all of these things and it creates a more interesting design. Whereas if you keep things evened out, it tends to flatten out images. So that's sort of what I would advise you to do in terms of like design. You know what I mean? I think using the 3D head models and CSP assets are awesome for making sheets. Yeah, you could use that too. I've never actually done it. I probably should. Eyebrow. I think eyebrows sort of follow like this flow. So when you're doing an eyebrow, it's sitting on the bony structure of the skull here. So the skull sort of has a socket. I'm just gonna move the eye, like beside your eye here. Okay. The eyebrow exists underneath this socket, or on top of this socket, on this bony ridge. So if you drew this bone here, it would have like this sort of form to it. Okay, and then it would curve in. Something like that. Maybe not that pronounced. It's gonna vary from human to human depending on how much bone structure you have, or little bone structure. If you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're different ethnicities have different varieties. Maybe not so much in brows, but other aspects of their sexual dimorphism. Anyways, all that to say, you want to feel that form in the eyebrow. And I find that eyebrows will typically have like a flow where they start one direction and then they pivot. As they go, they start to pivot more and more and more, and that sort of gives the feeling that they're wrapping that form, right? Look at how the arrows are sort of shooting off slightly in different directions, but gradually getting more and more progressive, and it shows that the wrapping of the brows. So when I do brows, I don't know if I actually did it on this one. I don't really do it on that one, but you could do something like this, right? And again, I'm going to apply what I said before, so the tapering. This is a little bit even, actually, but I'd probably do something a little bit more like that. And just having these sort of little subtle lines, you can add a little bit more in. You don't have to do it the whole way through, but that's sort of the flow that the eyebrow takes. Um, yeah, shape variety in the iris as well. Anyways. So those are sort of the fixes, and you could apply these to this also. So if you were doing this 3/4, it'd be something, I don't know, I have to look at the way I did that eye. Probably a little more like this, and then pop that corner up, bring this sucker down, and bring that up. A little Naruto-esque, but you know, it is what it is. I love watching critiques. Hey, no worries. Appreciate it. Right now, what I think you're also doing a little bit incorrectly. Almost 3 a.m. See you guys. Bye bye, Glad. I appreciate you coming out. One thing that I'm seeing that's a little incorrect on the nose, it feels too upturned. So this to me is a nose that you would see on like a really sort of extreme upturn head. I get that there are like racial traits that make the nose feel a little bit different, but a lot of them tend to come down to the width of the nose rather than the actual like upturned feeling of the nose. And I think if you're looking at African Americans in particular, they tend to have broader nose widths, which makes them feel like there's more nostril space because of the width, because it typically is. But it's not like you don't get this whole like upturnedness that you've got going on here. Like this peak here feels to me a little bit like if I'm looking at the way I drew like this guy, you can see that peak is upturned. I should have actually drawn the nostril like this. I kind of fucked it up, but if you do like those upturned faces, you would get like more nostril show. Whereas in this one, what I would do is I would just keep the width that you have, but I would downturn the nostrils. And nostrils, I do sort of like this D shape. Okay, so picture it like if you have like a D here, it's basically just like a weird D where you could have like maybe this part just sort of poke out a little bit. That's sort of how I think about nostrils a little bit. And you can curve that. It doesn't have to be sharp like I had it, right? And I would get rid of these top lines here. If you want to imply form, you could always do sort of like a little shade line or something like that. I would watch the hard line going all the way across here. You can do a line on the top lip, and I think I told you before that if you do a line on the top lip, you kind of want to make sure that it's thinner than the lines on the bottom here, because this bottom part is where the shadow is, right? This is where all the light's getting trapped. So if you're placing your bottom line down here, you want to make sure it's a little bit thicker, particularly in the corners here. Okay. So the most important things on a mouth are going to be the corners and then the little, I don't know what this is called, the fucking little pad there or whatever, little V pad, and then you can connect these with very thin lines. But this line here has to always, always, almost always, I'll say, like, if you're doing line art, almost always be lighter than the top line here. And so you're a little too even on that. So I would just sort of tone down the value here a little bit. You don't even need to fully connect it. You could do the, what is it, the Gestalt principle? What the fuck is it? Where you don't need to draw the line. You could just imply the shape. Is it Gestalt? Gestalt principles. So for those of you who don't know what the Gestalt principle is, it's the thing I've talked about on stream a lot, where you don't actually have to draw like the actual outline of a feature. You can draw sort of the general shapes, and you should be able, if you draw it correctly, you should read what that animal is, or that creature, not animal, that feature is. Like, this is clearly a dog, right? But there's no actual like lines tracking the outside of the dog here. There's no indication that it's like an actual dog. They're just shapes. Midnight Tsuki, you raid me? Shit, Midnight Tsuki, welcome in, welcome in. What were you up to today? The moon goddess gives you the blessing of the moon. The moon goddess gives you the blessing of the moon. The moon goddess gives you the blessing of the moon. The moon goddess gives you the blessing of the moon. Well, shit. Well, shit. Yeah, kind of rough timing. We are wrapping up stream. We're doing a little critique and then we're tapping out, but what were you up to? Can we get a little shout out for Midnight Tsuki? I'm gonna give her. I'm gonna do it myself. All right. I'm a hard worker here. I work so that my mods can rest. Okay. Midnight Tsukino. I'm gonna assume you were doing art. Please go check out Midnight Tsuki. She was playing Little Nightmares. Okay, you weren't doing art. Interesting. Interesting. Well, if you want to talk about what you were doing, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I'm probably going to continue with the freaking revision, and then we're going to wrap up stream. But I do appreciate you raiding, dude. I was scared. Were you scared? Is that the point of the game, to shit and piss yourself in fear? Did you win? Can you win? Okay, so what did we go over? We went over eye proportions. Implying lines is a big one. This is sort of like the thing that I think really separates like intermediate artists from like advanced artists, and I'm not very good at it yet. I really, really think that like the Gestalt principle and being able to apply that effectively is like it's the next level. You know what I mean? Like being able to draw shit with shapes without actually having connecting lines between those shapes is just it's the next level. You know, knowing when to leave out lines is very, very difficult. And come a little? Who, me? No. Are you really scared of you having shit, piss, and come? Could you imagine? You're like, oh, I pissed. Oh, I just shit my... Oh! I just came my pants. Something like that. That's how I would imagine it going down. Anyways, she was scared. She was scared. We don't need to know what kind of fluids were released in the process of being scared. Midnight Tsuki, thank you for the raid, dude. I appreciate you coming out. For those who don't know, Midnight Tsuki is a regular here. She's an active viewer in my community. I don't know why she hangs out here. I'm depraved. I'm a sick maniac, but she keeps coming back, dude. She keeps coming back. So go follow her if you wanna go watch somebody be terrified. Appreciate you, big dog. And now back to this. So yeah, so what did we say? Eye proportions, specifically talking about sort of, you know, making sure there's a good shape design. Below the eyebrows. Ninja Meatloaf, thank you for the follow, big dog. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm questioning my choices too now as well. That's good. You should be. I don't want people here for the sake of just being here, you know? I want you to commit. We are a cult after all. Is that not what my bio says? What does it say? Corporate crony, CEO of my mom's basement. True. I draw, animate, and occasionally game. I'm such a naughty little liar, dude. I've never played a video game on this channel ever. Please join my cult and make me the richest man alive. 18 plus stream. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, so what I was saying with the top lip here is I think for the top lip, I don't know if I actually did it on this guy. Yeah, I did. So like using the Gestalt principle to just sort of imply the top lip is I find works really well, mostly because a way you can determine whether you need to put down a hard line or not. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. One for the lip that works really well is just light source. If the light is directly hitting it, the line's usually going to be a little lighter because it's being washed out, right? Like look at something that's overexposed. It's hard to see contour lines on an overexposed image, like where there's a big bright white light on it, right? So the top lip tends to capture a lot of light. Therefore, we're just going to be a little bit lighter on our lines, and you're going to get a bit more readability, right? Jawline here. Good shape. Issue again is the line weight is a little bit skewed. There's a lot more line weight here than there is here, but most of the shadows are contained here. I would like to see more line weight here. A little bit lighter on the line weight here. You can put more line weight here. Yeah, line weight is a little bit more subjective, but I just feel like it doesn't really make sense to have more line weight there. Anyways, that's a lot to go over. One last thing I will say: have the ear be a little bit more flush on a front on. So because it's front on, you're not gonna have unless he's got like big Dumbo ears. The ears aren't gonna stick out nearly as much as they would on a 3/4. So we're just gonna bring it in just a little bit. We're gonna apply all these shapes. We're just gonna tighten them. Same thing as doing a 3/4, but all the shapes are just a little bit tighter. I don't really like that one. And drop this down a little bit more. Same with this. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so I'll leave you with that, just because it's a lot to go over. So eye proportions, lip shadows, and line weight. Gestalt principle. I'm gonna add that to the line weight thing because that is sort of like a line weight rule. I really appreciate these, by the way. I don't think I could thank you enough for how thorough you are with these. Along with this song is great. Hey, no worries, dude. I like doing it. Okay. And if I don't want to do it, I'll just tell you guys. You know I will. Sometimes I'll just be like, I'm not in the mood for critiques right now. I just want to draw or whatever. But I don't mind, so don't worry about it. It's part of the fun. And also, one thing that I get out of critiques, and this is a big reason why I like doing them, it tests me on my knowledge, and it really sort of illustrates to me where my gaps are. And I feel like that's helped me improve a lot this year. So by helping you guys, I get like a symbiosis of like benefit as well. We've got like a little symbiotic relationship where you guys get better, and I get to identify where my weaknesses are when I just feel like I can't explain something properly or I struggle to explain something. And it's very beneficial for me because then it gives me like a clear roadmap as to what I need to focus on next. Eddie. Eddie. I like culting. I like recruiting cultists. We're the Venom to your Eddie. Oh, yeah, more or less. Okay, so that's it for the eye. Now, one thing I want you to notice on the eye too is if you look at the curvature here, like where the curves are on the eye, they're also sort of offset, right? The weight's offset. Everything is like has its own sort of language or like individuality. It's not all even. Symmetry's our enemy, guys. That's why doing front on poses are really, really difficult. And that's why I do little things like have these be a little different. Well, this is probably just like a mistake. This probably shouldn't even be here. But having these lines be slightly different, having this have like a lopsided thing there, a nostril on this side, tilted mouth on this side, it gets rid of a lot of the flatness of a front-on pose, right? If you do something perfectly symmetrically, it takes away from the appeal a little bit. So that's sort of why I do that. Your skull also, one last thing, your skull's a little big. Your skull is a lot flatter on the sides than you would think. If you had a sphere, actually I could just draw this here. If you draw a head from like the side here, it's a sphere with like a little semi-box looking thing or whatever. And it's actually partly cut off here. So from the side, you just basically take like a giant chunk out of it here, and you slice that off. And from the front, if you're doing like a sphere from the front, that would basically be like you take this and you just chop that off. You chop that bit off and you chop that bit off. And you kind of get these flatter sides here that lead into these curves at the top of the skull. So it's a little bit more flat. So you wouldn't really have this come out into the skull, because then you kind of get the Megamind effect, and you don't really want that. It's going to kill your guys' seriousness. So just make sure you're trimming that down a little bit too. You can leave the hair out. The hair's got volume, so it can poof out, but the skull is bone. So we gotta respect the bone a little bit more, you know? Anyways, so that's where I'll leave you with this feedback. So what do we say? We got the eye with the Gestalt principle, eyebrow flows. Well, I'll just put that under here. Eyebrow plus eyebrow. What else did we say? Line weight, that encompasses that. Ear and skull flatness. Ear and skull perspective. I'll put that. Ear and skull. Oops. Perspective. Okay, let me take a little screenshot of that. I'll drop that in the Discord in the critiques channel, and then we will call it a day, dude. And I'm gonna find somebody to write out to and get the fuck out of here. All right, let's see, who do we got? Do I just want to write somebody that's live right now? I know. Do we want to do that? Do we want to do that? I don't know. Do I want to mingle with someone new? Okay, we're gonna write somebody new. What is this person doing? I see anatomy charts in the background. We're rating this lady. I was about to type the fucking raid in her chat. That would have been embarrassing. Raid. Everybody, let's go over there. Let's say hello. I will see you all tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time for the next stream. Until then, I got nothing else to add. That's it. Is that how I spell this shit? Okay, Cryptid Kitchen. I don't know why that was so hard for me. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you to the new chatters. Thank you for the old chatters. And as always, if you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord so you can get live notifications. Thank you for the raid, Midnight Suki, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.